Hey guys, how's it going?
He's Captain Foley.
No, I'm not.
Ah.
And you're late.
It's a hollow. Stuart, I spent like 3 hours editing the video, so shush you. Everyone just watch the other review. That took a long time to make.
But there are deadlines for a reason. Start times are start time. It's not start time to get ready, start time. Anyway, it's okay. Yeah, guys, how's it going? Check out the other video if you haven't already, the edited one. I haven't watched it yet, haven't had a chance, but
just came out because time.
Go check it out.
A nice condensed thoughts, as this is our chance to really go into detail, and you guys like the detail, as well as a live show.
Ready, start time.
I know I certainly really feed off the liveness of it. Didn't think it was something we were missing until we realised we had it, or didn't think something we really wanted till we had it. You know?
Yeah. Oh man. So 87 people here, 51 likes. That's good so far. We hit the 50 like already. 50 like goal, which is good. Usually it's a few more minutes for that. So awesome. Keep it up, guys. Hit that like if you haven't.
Yes. And I want to see 450 likes. I'm going to say it now. So help me to help you to help me to get there.
I also want $1 million, but I've been saying that for a long time.
Well, get me my 450 and get Stuart his million in super chats. I mean, good goals for each of us. Good goals for each of us.
Well,
yeah.
We already got some super chats, which is a great way to start. So
and we do love the initial vibe of super chats where you jump in with your initial thoughts. Throw us some $5 initial start thoughts. We'd love to discuss some of those. Throw at us.
So, well, we'll just might as well read the first few. BJ Tehran, $5. It's been great watching your disco reviews. Made watching the show fun and interesting. Can't wait for season 2 of Lower Decks. We can't either.
Say season 2 of Discovery, but really it is season 2 of Discovery Reboot 2.
Yes. Vincent Visions, $5. I know I'm skipping ahead, but I guess Discovery has 31st century TARDIS tech. LOL. Why was there so much space in the hover elevator part? Hashtag Planet Turbolift. We'll get there.
Hashtag not my coaster.
Hashtag they don't know how starships work.
Hashtag justice for Zahil!
Hey, that one paid off, man. We should have been hashtagging other stuff during the course of the season. Maybe we would have got...
Hashtag bird caused by Kelpian child, episode 1. I was like...
we got hashtag door closed, so...
Yes, we're going to do a video on that, guys. Because they closed the... That's news! It's news they had a shuttle bay door closed. That's how low certain elements have sunk. By the end, it raised up high.
But not the door. The door they put down low.
Yes. And since the shuttle bay was probably destroyed by a ship flying into it, they can remodel that as well. Another excuse to remodel stuff. It would be weird if... Seriously, it would be weird if they rebuilt it based on the old 920-year-old design. That would not make sense. Like, they're not going to use their old shuttles. They can't. There's no reason to.
Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2. 50 at the start. Let's get to 100. Yes. Hit that like button, guys. And Dr. Ronslin, $10. Yeah. Is that a picture of Disco in her own turbo shaft? Yes.
It does feel like that.
It's exactly what it is.
Because there was an episode 2 where the TARDIS went inside the TARDIS and it was really confusing. This is a Discovery spored into itself.
See, it would have been cool if that was like the turbo shaft of the Viridian and you could see Discovery in the distance. Like, that'd be kind of neat, but...
Absurd, but fun.
Would have made more fucking sense, that's for sure. Brady Jarvis, $5.
Thank you.
Why even destroy the Viridian? Just jump away. They killed that crew for no reason. Because F that crew. I mean, that was the flagship of the Emerald Chain, supposedly, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Because after that...
We were never
after
Osiris... to be fair. Oh. Yeah, and Stuart's internet isn't the best today, so we
get rid of the...
But yes, we're fine. You're back, Stuart. Hello. You're back.
Not went anywhere. Let's see. Tom Casey, $5. I know there's some questions about some questions in some of these episodes, but overall a good season, satisfied with finale. I know there's some questions about some questions. Yes. That's what we talk about.
There are always questions.
And Caleb Horn, $5. The Turbolift Dimension. All Starfleet Turbolifts travel through this when in use. If something goes wrong, you could end up on the wrong ship. See, yeah, that works for me. It's kind of like a interdimensional portal. You can go to any ship anywhere. This is the transporter universe. That's what happens when you transport.
Maybe it's a mycelial turbolift. You know, it all travels through the mycelial plane. That's why it suddenly becomes bigger. You know, that's where they're hiding the spores. They just filled the entire ship with it. But we'll certainly look at that in a bit, guys. Although, you know, gotta give them credit, as we are obviously going to do a lot this week, but Peel brought up straight away. But, you know, we did get some nice shots of the ship. Limited shots, and still very dark. They keep loving... I guess, though, putting it in dark means all the neon, the Tron glows brighter. But, you know, I look forward to season 4 when we get some nice classic beauties. That'd be nice.
Speaking of neon, Neon, take me down to Turbolift City where the take me down to Turbolift City where the space is huge and the science is shitty.
That's a Freudian slip there, Stuart, wasn't it?
No, because I read shitty. I already read the thing, and shitty was the last word, so that's why.
Oh, okay.
Jason 6690, $20.
Oh!
Happy New Year's bonus. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
As always, thanks for all you guys do. The videos and lives are something to look forward to watching. Makes commuting to work better each day. Looking forward to some hashtag shipborn. Yes. Well, there's a little bit of it in this episode, at least.
And to tease, don't worry, we'll go back and cover all of the CBS release concept art of all of the ships individually, because they're certainly high res enough. Plus, picking out their, you know, small parts of this episode. We didn't get any close-ups, but we did get them in the background, so there will be further ship videos as we sort of re-dissect those. So you want that ship porn? CBS gave us a ship porn, and then we will talk about it. Yeah.
Joseph Petrick, $2. Hi guys, did the Magic TARDIS ride break you too? It didn't break me, it just annoyed me, and yeah, they, instead of doubling down on their stupidity, they quadrupled down on it for this one because it was excessively long and excessively, look at what we did. Please don't show it again.
It certainly ruined the mood. Like, you're quite, yes. I just watched it and we finished like 2 minutes before. You get into quite a good vibe, and then it completely ruins it, and then you got to build it back up after she kills Osira. Like, there's an absolute dip of quality, and then it kind of goes back. Then it's all good again. Like, it literally is just this dip into shite.
And Chris Gwillem says it doesn't look too dark for me. 4K. 4K doesn't help with the darkness, unfortunately, my friend.
Especially as you're watching a 1080p compressed stream of video signals on my PC through the internet. So,
well, he was talking about he watched it in 4K on his TV.
Well, so. I mean, I didn't say it was too dark. I said it was dark because it's not been lit by a sun source. I mean, they haven't really done any like, hey, look, classic flyby, which I would like to see, etc., etc. I will start sharing them, Stuart, as we are already a third of our minimum super chat amount, so it's brilliant.
And 100 likes already.
You know what? I'm hoping when I come back, there'll be 250 people watching, or 220. That's fair. So, I wish us all luck. Bye bye.
You do that. Bye bye. 185 people watching, 104 likes. That's awesome, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And we've already got some great super chats coming in, which is great. So thank you so much. And we're looking forward to discussing this with you. And yeah, we'll get into the meat of this episode and talk about it. So if you want to have your voice heard, make sure that we read it and do read it out on the air, because it is quite busy here today. Lots of people in the chat. Best way to get noticed is to super chat, because they come up in pretty little colors for us, and we get to read them on the air, because we do read them all, unlike some channels. So yeah, that's a good way to get your comment out there, your question answered, whatever. Get noticed, be part of the community, be part of the conversation. You can also send a PayPal to Hotmail or Trekyards@hotmail.com, and just let us know that you sent the PayPal. We will read the comment or question via the PayPal email. So just let us know in the chat, or let one of the moderators know so they can notify us that we, in fact, will read your comment and question via the email there. So also check out the links down below. There is a Teespring store. There's some really cool Trekyards merchandise there. Also links for other great stuff as well, including discount codes and things like that, so you can get yourself some ship porn in your house with some Eagle Moss ships and things. Save yourself 10% with the Trekyards code Trekyards10. And yeah, it's a great way to support us and support support us, Eagle Moss, and yourself the same time. So check out the description of every video, as there's always cool stuff there. Plus the other channels. There's Sam's channel, there's my channel. Definitely worth going down, clicking that link, and subscribing to those, as there's always new content coming out from those things as well. So by all means, go do all that cool stuff, and we'll see you on those other channels and things, because there's more content coming. Now that Discovery is done, 23 straight weeks of Star Trek, new Star Trek content, we are going to be able to focus on some other stuff and really kind of bring you some cool stuff, I think. So getting some cool super chats coming in. We're going to hold those until Samuel gets back. He is still sharing this around, and looks like he's back now. So we haven't hit, we're at 205 people. Samuel, you didn't make it back on time. Well, you didn't make it, but you didn't make it back too soon. We didn't have 220 like you wanted. So.
But you know what? I love each and every one of you with a fire in my soul that can barely be described. You know?
Yes.
What about you, Stuart? How much do you love them?
This much.
That's a moderately high amount. Good job, guys.
No, it's from this going that way, all the way around the universe to here. That's how that works.
You're in that way then, like your hands, because that way.
Well, maybe, yeah. This is it with it. This is how I say it with a Canadian accent. But yeah, if I did it universally, it would be like that.
Please super chat for that brilliant, stupid joke. That was I'm sure you didn't just think of that, but that was really well done. I've never heard that before. That was good.
Actually, I did just think that, so that's okay.
That's really good.
We got a lot of super chats while you were gone, so let's get into those.
Oh, thanks, Taylor.
Wow, really flying through. Okay, hold on. I gotta get back here.
Okay, what do you guys think? This is your time before we start jumping into it, so we do want to hear what you think.
Yeah. Jay, the bonus. Read that one. Okay, read that one. Ozzy, there it is. $5.
Hi, Ozzy.
Thank you so much, Ozzy. All hail the Superior Commander and Super Captain Foley. Foley. Where is Linus? Fleet Admiral Skeleton Hands. Okie dokie. He's in the final shot. He's wearing a new uniform on the bridge.
Spoilers. Although I will say I didn't even think where was Linus until the end.
But did I?
Yeah, but it was like, oh, good. Hope he's more next season, because he's been a surprise hit. You know what? Yeah. Sahil and Linus, the spin-off with Admiral Vance. Just saying.
It's a Sahil and Linus show.
Or Star Trek SNL, Sahil and Linus.
That's good. That's very good.
And he's just really happy to be here, and Linus is just having fun with life. And every episode he cuts to Linus with a picture of Georgia on his bed. It's like, sorry.
Dear God.
I amused myself. Yes,
somebody.
Sure.
You have to amuse somebody, I guess. Marco Blazaderovic, $20. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, thank you.
Only explanation is future tech, 31st century, as seen in Season 2 Enterprise future tense, but it's strange to use it just for turbolift shafts and not anything else. But I doubt the writers went that deep into research. Well, obviously, you didn't watch Seasons 1 and 2, because they showed these turbolift shafts, these vast open spaces with work bees flying around in Season 1 and Season 2 as well. So, no, it's not 31st or 2nd century tech.
And it was retconned on the Enterprise 1701 in the short track. They had them too.
Yep.
So that'd be great if this is the first time we saw them, be like, oh, Enterprise tech.
Yep. Yep.
But it really wasn't.
Yep. So that's not the only explanation. That's reaching. It's reaching. George Mangrum, $5. New uniform, shuttle bay door closed, and Sahil at Federation headquarters as a lieutenant, no doubt.
Yeah, serious promotion.
What a great way to end 23 weeks of Star Trek. Yes. I'd given up on Sahil as much as I had hashtag for justice for Sahil the whole time. We were sharing that like every live pretty much. I said for the last couple weeks, you're not going to see him. They're going to forget about him. It'll be maybe next season. So I got to give them all the praise that they did that. I was happy to see that.
And I was calling probably the first scene of season 4 as a surprise, like, it starts the same way. He walks into command center. Oh, he's been there the whole time, like as in the last year. That's how I was going to call it. But it does feel like a lot of the stuff we specifically as Trekyards were asking for, they gave us. But a lot of them are very, very logical. It's not as if new uniforms is anything that takes too much radicalness. It's pretty
Not a stretch
basic.
Not a stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, and saving the guy that gets Burnham back into the Federation, again, not a stretch. But, I mean, unlike Seasons 1 and Season 2, where they lacked a bit of logic, at least they gave us the logic. Thank you, Michelle, showrunner. You've brought some maturity to Discovery, which it needed.
BJ Turon, $5. For the good old days of the turbolift shafts of Star Trek V. Hey, at least they were turbolift shafts. Sure, there were 75 decks when there was only supposed to be 21. But hey, what are you gonna do?
But that is more the problem of the set decorator and the director, who's Shatner, not realizing, because he's the actor as well. Whereas more people, I think, went through the process in Discovery, like to build the sets, to like that. You can't do that sequence without everybody in production realizing. Whereas Star Trek V, you can see it was a mistake that was accidentally got through because they weren't. That wasn't. You know what I mean? It was it's out of focus almost. And remember, back in that day, I doubt you're editing on a big flat screen HD TV, because it was the 80s. So you're editing on a small screen. You probably couldn't even read the 70. Okay, well, on the big screen you could for a screening maybe, but you couldn't do screenings every time you had to prove the film. So they might not have even been able to read the text. I'm just saying.
You're stretching there, my friend. You're stretching there. I've seen editing bays from the 80s. They have the, not big, but the bigger CRT screens. It's fine.
Would it even be in HD? I don't think they had HD in the 80s. So it could just be too blurry. Like, all the numbers are the same. If you're not looking for it, why would you think about it?
They wouldn't be too blurry. I think, again, you're reaching.
Hey, Stuart.
Plus, they passed the same number a few times.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
That's yeah.
Just an editing mistake, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Gwillem, £5. Love you guys.
Oh.
I enjoyed, apart from the turbolift and core ejection, are we now set for proper Trek for Season 4? I hope so. One of my quotes from last night was, yes, we finally got our shit together. We know what we're doing. Let's do Star Trek for Season 4 now, please. Thank you.
And I'm annoyed that a reasonable part of me wants one of those new uniforms. I'm annoyed. In a good way. Just like, oh, it's not that exciting, but I kind of want one. Damn it.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2. I missed 100 here for 127. Again at 150. Well, we already hit 150. We hit 151 right now. We're up to 268 people watching. That's
brilliant.
great, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't. Let's get up to 200 likes.
200, as some of our wonderful people say.
Mm-hmm. Ozzy Medeiros, $5.
Thank you.
All hail the Superior Commander and Super Captain Foley. What happened to Linus? I read that one already. Or did you send it again? He sent it again.
Oh.
Well, thank you, Ozzy. You're giving me
Deja vu.
Mark Felipe, $5. Crazy far out theory. Could Kovic be the mysterious Federation president? Well, it's not a crazy far out theory. That was something that I kind of considered at that moment as well. He wears the nice suit. He's there with the Admiral during the whole thing, and he says, "What's this going to show? How's this going to look to everybody else? Because this is the hope for the Federation. Firing on the ship is not a good thing."
Yeah,
so, but I don't think the Federation would be in a debriefing with a Terran. Doesn't seem like presidential, things to do.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting idea, but it's reaching because there's no evidence. Yeah, but it's interesting. I mean, he's a good. Well, I think he didn't act as well this week, but I think he just wasn't. I mean, his lines were more. Here's a line. Here's a line. It wasn't very in character. Although good to see him at least. I mean, they brought the whole team back except Ariam 1, who's only in the last shot. But yeah.
That's Lieutenant Nielsen. And yeah, I don't know why she wasn't in it more. Like, she was off duty when they took the bridge, so they thought she was just another member and put her on the shuttle to go to HQ.
My assumption is that she just couldn't work that day, and so they brought the other lady in, which is why they give her the lines. But then it's like, just don't include that woman and give other people lines who have been in there all 3 seasons. Why do you keep ignoring the Chinese guy? For God's sake. For God's sake. Give them lines. Stuart, please. We're begging you. Hey, but at least, Zahil got more lines than them, didn't he? He actually did.
Yep. Hashtag justice for bridge crew. That's a new one.
Hashtag Zahil for bridge crew.
Hey, I'm down. Bring
Stuart,
on more. That'd be awesome.
You know what? I hope that guy goes to Vegas, and you can each take a picture with him with a hashtag, and be really happy because we didn't not say we did it, but we did it, Stuart. We made them reshoot it. We brought them back in. You know, they rehired him just that one. No, I'm kidding.
All right. So Caleb Horn, $5.
All right, Caleb.
What color would you say those phaser beams are? Pew pew. Love seeing a little more of those new ships. Was that the Rainforest ship participating?
It did fire, yeah, at one point.
Yeah. As for the, they're a fancy new kind of phaser beam that reflects, that picks up the light that's nearby, so it matches regardless of where they are.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, they were blue and they were green. My only problem is they were really thin, like absurdly thin, tiny.
Because they're super advanced future phasers, so they just need a very small stream.
But it was very like none of the weapons had any sort of impact. You know, like watch Nemesis. Everything has a really nice punch. What?
Tony Fabulous. Oa can hold her breath for 10 minutes. ... That makes you think of really bad things. I know. I'm right there with you, my friend.
What, a pie eating contest?
No, hot dog eating contest.
Well, how many can she eat in 10 minutes?
Just 1 foot long. That's all it needs. Anyway, moving along. Chris Carlin, 5 pounds. Evening, lads. Was this episode directed by the love child of J.J. Abrams and Michael Bay? Was starting to get motion sickness after the first 10 minutes. That's interesting. Oh my god. And there were explosions. There was no real lens flare though, I gotta say.
No, I actually quite liked the angles. I thought they weren't distracting. Obviously you notice them because they're really noticeable. But I thought they all kind of served and back to this thing. And besides it was only the first half anyway.
I love our community. Carl Shep, yeah, Detmer pie. Yeah, a pie eating. Never mind. Because it seems, I don't know. They've been hinting through the whole season that Oa and Detmer have a relationship, and it's more than just best friends. I think.
Yeah, this one it's certainly an awkward moment. It's like, you're alive, so are you.
You're all alive.
This is so awkward. I know, and we've made to say it. We are. We're getting paid. The check's bounced. I'm off. Definitely awkward moment for sure. But hey ho.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oa deserves better because Detmer's kind of a bitch.
Hezraz on Oa to be XO. Actually, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I wouldn't either.
Actually, that's an interesting choice because I think she definitely. But yeah, I mean, you were saying right at the start of the season it was definitely Detmer that was going to be the one that got the most screen time. But that one scene of Oa doing her thing felt more legitimate than the Detmer stuff.
And die. Yeah, for sure was.
Yeah, so give her a promotion, have her be XO. Why not? Be fun.
Yeah, I was sure she was going to die, and I'm glad she didn't. So there we go.
It felt that way, and it almost should have died. But honestly, they didn't have time to grieve at the end. Like it didn't fit the theme, which is good. It's a very, 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 very positive ending.
And the Peridon just realized that the Detmer PTSD thing went nowhere. Did it?
Well,
it didn't.
Well, it did its thing and then
she talked
stopped.
to the doctor once about it.
Yeah,
she talked to the doctor once about it, and the whole reset the operating system to the old one. Can't say as I mind because she didn't like the new one really.
Yeah.
It
was their olive branch of look, the crew is damaged by going to the future, and we're done with that.
Yeah. Fleet Paw hashtag Oa for XO. That's a great hashtag, by the way.
Yeah, and we've interviewed her, and she yeah.
Go, Twitter, all of you right now. You're my personal army. Go hashtag Oa for XO, and tag the actress, please.
I might go do that right now as well.
I'll do it after the stream because I can't afford to do it right now.
Yeah.
Unless you go off on a rant, which you will eventually, so I'll just do it then. Not a band account.
Perfect. Thanks,
it's
man.
$5.
He can't you just tell he loves me so much?
I do.
I mean, the amount of love this guy has for me is really astounding. Because if he didn't love me, then there wouldn't be. Do you get what I was doing there? I was going on a rant so you could.
I got it. Not a band account, $5. Now we see that all of Captain Spock's leadership talent and abilities was learned from the perfect officer who became Captain Michael Burnham. Yes, because without Burnham, there would be no Spock. Because Burnham came first, obviously.
The chicken or the Spock.
Yeah. Fleet Pass Swiftback, $2, 160, again at 200. We are at 179 likes, guys, with 292 people watching, which is fantastic. Hit that like button if you haven't. I'm sure we can easily get to 200. Only need 20 more likes now, so please consider doing that. Yes. Jacob Tinkenell, $5. Hats off to the showrunner. Course has been corrected, yet we hit a Turbo Shaft City portal on the way. Looking forward to TNG, DS9, and Voyager reviews. Yes, the new year will hold those in store and mixing them up so that you guys can get a tune in when you want to as far as the content you want to see. So, but we'll talk about that on another live where we're talking about the year in question. Star Trekker 58, $5 Australian. No Trek, not one mail worth of crap on this whole ship. Mikey Spock beats up everyone every week. Janeway was a strong captain with all crew capable. Yeah, there's a lot to deconstruct there. Moving on. Darth Duck, €2. Did we actually see one of this Starfleet ships fire? Yes, there was a few. We'll get there when we get there. You'll see. And Ozzy Maderos, $5. Don't mess with Book's Queen. You'll be thrown out of the Turbolift shaft or Turbolift Fleet Admiral Skeleton hands. Okie dokie. Yeah, just push him out. Kick him out. He was on the floor, half out of the Turbolift anyway, on his stomach. Just slide his ass out. And don't roll him over and taunt him.
And it's a bit sad when a guy with only one arm can't beat a guy with two arms who's like 30 years younger than him and on adrenaline. Like, that fight doesn't really work second time around. And yeah, that last line, she's a queen, is also awkward. But they want the action one-liner. Because when Burnham's like, and I never quit, it's like, oh, that's awkward as well. It's as if someone suddenly just wrote that entire segment to be an action movie and no one was suited for it. The Orion lady couldn't fight very well. Burnham's fine, but it's not a very good fight. Like, nothing about that sequence fits. It's weird.
Yeah. Hashtag no one wanted it.
Hashtag justice for Sahil.
Captain Chili Bina, $5. Bridge crew lady, red shirt turned out to be a red herring. Yes, she didn't die. You know, the unknown bridge crew officer lady didn't die, so that's good.
Yeah, that was shocking.
Yeah. Stephen W. Fathry, $5. Chili's uniform color was different in the preview episode sent to reviewers than it was in the official release. I'll explain on Text Treks at 7:30 Central Time. So after this one, he will be doing a live as well. She had blue.
Yes.
She had a blue stripe at the end.
Mm-hmm. Well, she was originally science, then she was engineering to help Stamets, but you could still argue she was a science engineer because she was doing with the technical side, not the actual engineering side. And what do you mean sent to reviewers? Did anyone got review copies? I don't think that was still a thing with this stuff. Because everyone's just releasing reviews like, later in the day. I wouldn't have thought they'd do release copies. And so does that imply reshoot, Stephen? Sounds like I should watch that thing then that you're teasing. But Stuart, I would like you to summon our beautiful mob and ask about like, dislike, or meh. Like, grab another can of monsters. This is going to be a long one. So, back in 5 seconds.
We got one more super chat first. So Andrew K, $5. Why would a new computer core have a copy of a 900-year-old operating system? My Windows 10 computer doesn't have the option to downgrade to Windows 95. No, but you still have all the original Windows 10 documentation with it. I still have all the original discs that came with my computer as a just in case. So, yeah. Sorry, I didn't get to your thing yet, Samuel. I was reading the super chat.
That's okay. You guys are very super. Thanks for the super chat. Best friend of mine who just super chatted.
Who, Andrew K?
Yeah.
Oh, you know him?
No, I wasn't listening, so I just vamped.
Oh. He said, why would a new computer core have a copy of a 900-year-old operating system?
I said that.
My Windows 10 computer doesn't have the option to downgrade to Windows 95. No, but you still have all your original files to back it up to its original factory configuration. And I still keep the discs that came with my computer. Whether I'll use them or not is irrelevant because I might need to at some point.
But the question is, why didn't they just reboot to the default operating system of the current version of the show?
I know. I know.
Because it's a fun idea if, like you said, if they actually used it to beam, but it had zero payoff and meant nothing. So it's like, why bother mentioning it?
Yeah. Dr. Ronslin, $5. She was wearing red when filmed. Oh, okay. So that's weird.
So they color graded it, which is not that hard in post. It's a solid striped color.
Yeah.
There's only like one. Oh yeah, no, I can see the line. As in, I could see potentially how they did that.
Anyway, guys, it's time to spam the chat right now. I want you to put enjoyed, didn't enjoy, or meh for this episode.
Yes.
Just spam it.
Yes. What is a consensus here?
So we can get it. Yeah, so we can get a read on the audience and see what you guys are thinking. Most people seem to have really enjoyed this episode, so looking forward to seeing what you guys say.
I know what you guys think. Obviously, there are channels of all ilks. Those that really like stuff, dislike stuff. We're obviously the balanced guys. But it's hard not to appreciate. Like we have always said, credit when credit's deserved, and call out bad decisions. And this episode is filled with both, but definitely on the good slant.
Ooh, wow, you guys are really 313 of you here. Brilliant. 209 likes, guys. That's awesome. Make sure you spam the chat with what you think, and also hit that like button, guys. Let's get
it's
the likes
actually
up.
Important.
He wants to see 450 by the end of the stream. We're only 30 minutes into it. We're going to go for at least another 2.5 hours, likely, maybe longer, because this is the season finale. There's a lot to talk about.
Because we love.
I've already eaten. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Anyway,
basically, we're committed to all of you because you guys, you're our heart. Wakanda forever. And long live the Empire.
We got to do a Trekyards one. Trekyards forever. Punch yourself in the face and smash it.
Or you do T, I do Y. Trekyards.
YMCA.
We're the Trekyards.
CA. Trekyards.Canada. Yeah. All right, so we got.
Sorry.
Enjoyed, meh. Mostly enjoyed, hated, enjoyed, meh, enjoyed, didn't enjoy, meh, enjoy, meh. Give it a B-, meh, enjoyed, did not like, meh, enjoyed. Great episode, enjoyed, good, meh, epic ending, meh, with some moments that enjoyed, like, meh. There's a lot of mehs, actually. A lot of enjoys.
But how many dislikes?
Dislikes, which is fine.
Very few, I think.
Quite a few. All right, well, we got some more super chats. Let's get to those. All right, Stapes, 369, $5. Thoughts on finally seeing the warp core after 3 seasons proves the science lab with the spore cube was not engineering. We've been saying that all along.
They also said it all along.
Yeah. I have issues with the warp core ejection scene, mainly because the tube that they launched it out of is like a fucking mile long, and it's like clinging against the side like it's not a tight fit, which really is not safe by any means. We've seen it ejected in Voyager. It's just a big... It's simple.
And Enterprise E. Well, because the Voyager warp core is like almost the entire height of the ship.
It should be. Most warp cores are.
Yeah.
But this was just a little one in the big nothingness that was their turbolift shaft.
It's because they only went back and watched Started Into Darkness.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, warp core. I remember that from that brilliant feature film I like, Started Into Darkness. Yeah, it should look like that. And they didn't bother going back to any of the other ones.
Yep.
Oy.
So, yeah, I love that. I love that they did the warp core injection. It was just awfully visual. Like, it was not safe. How is it clanging against the sides of the thing safe? Yeah, there's no way is that a thing that would be.
It didn't stand out to me first time, but the second time when you then see sparks flying.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember this is a overloading warp core. It's not just a normal warp core or the other, a fully overloading warp core. Yeah, that stands out a ton. The second, it's not as annoying to me as everything else, but yeah, it's definitely weird.
And Christian Montgomery brings up the point that I brought up last night. It's a 32nd century warp core, guys. Yeah. Smaller compressed warp core, same amount of power as the original big one that they maybe refitted, but by God, build something around it or fix the shaft.
You've got replicatable matter. There's no excuse for a tube that doesn't fit it. You can't justify that. Yep. They spent 3 months changing the entire ship. Every bit of the outside of the hull is different. Yep. Everything.
Yep.
So that is and if they built a new warp core, they're not using the old power conduits. All the EBS conduits have been stripped out and put new ones in. It's a brand new system. The warp core itself is fine, design-wise. Yeah, the tube is not.
Yes. All right.
Yes,
DX2069, $5. Will we ever see the actual engine room inside of Disco? I loved this episode. Who knows? We haven't seen it in 3 seasons. Maybe we'll see it in season 4 when they redo the inside of the ship to match the uniforms. Because the uniforms don't look good with the color scheme of the inside of the ship.
Don't look as good. They don't service as well. They don't look bad.
They don't pop like they did Starfleet headquarters.
I get the feeling, though, we might have less and less spore drive focus, and therefore more of an important need to focus on the... Yeah. I can see that being a thing. And if you imagine that if Tilly isn't second in command and Adira stays on board, and that's the engineer, I can imagine them being a tag team in the engineering room doing cool stuff, in which case doing an engineering set could be useful because, you know, I think that could be more interesting than... I mean, it'd probably be a kit bash of the spore drive chamber.
Yes, it would be, absolutely.
You know, if they're already going to gut the sets to make them look new anyway, that's fine. And then all you need is like just keep the tube, the box intact, so they can just stand in it and spore jump. You don't need the rest of the room. It's always awkward when they go into a room that isn't engineering. It's always awkward for engineering style stuff. It's like, but this isn't the main room. I know it's probably a focal point of all the spore tech because it's the spore room, but not for the normal tech. So stop.
Fleetboss Swiftback, $2. Big jump to 220, again at 250. We have 330 people watching and 237 likes. Guys, that's amazing. We can easily hit 300 likes. Hit that like button. Let's get us to 300. That's your target. I'm not reducing it at all. Let's get to 300, guys.
And I said 450. So hey, that's my target. And it's just at $1 million.
That's for the end of the stream, yeah.
And it's just at $1 million in super chats. So I mean, my goal might get reached. See how close we get to Stuart's goal.
I just spent $1 million. I've been wanting $1 million my whole life. Never haven't got it.
Well, you can help me with that goal today. Everyone put in $500 super chats, each of you regulars, and we'll get there.
For less than a price of a cup of coffee, you can grant a captain's wish.
A really, really expensive cup of coffee with diamond cutlery.
Metallica fan 1442, £2. Just a thanks for the live show. Well, thank you very much, Metallica fan. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Right back to you.
Not a band account, $2. Is Captain Michael on track to be a crazy admiral? Yes, absolutely. Could you imagine her as an admiral? Wow.
And actually, that could be a fun subplot, seeing like Janeway from the future bring back a slightly demented Captain Burnham. Because if the villain is the Godchild Burnham versus the hero Godchild Burnham, I mean, who do you root for? Who could win? You know.
Captain Chili Bina, $5.
Thank you.
Now that Disco is a delivery to lithium service, I hope one of the first steps is Nan's planet and she comes back as chief of security. Post is still open. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Nan come back. I really liked her character, but I don't think they'll bring her back.
Well, I think she'll definitely be in season 4. Doesn't mean they'll bring her back as a regular, though.
Yeah.
I think she was well liked by everybody. And if there's a situation where we need to deal with what are they called? The race? Her race.
The Barzans.
Yeah, Barzans. Then she would then warp in and say, hey, we've got a problem. Because actually, and just briefly, is it fair to say this season's been pretty damn episodic?
Mm-hmm.
Each episode being fully self-contained with a little bit of extra, but like individual stories. So I think they've learned the lesson, and season 4 will be episodic again. So I can imagine just a Binar. Fuck it, bring back Binars. Hell, why not? You know.
Yeah.
About different races and dealing with them. That sounds great.
Yeah. Eugene, 1,000 rubles. Yes. So thank you so much. What a bunch of something. And it ended with basically yet another reboot. What will happen in the adventures of the USS TARDIS season 4?
Well, yeah.
I don't know if the people at CBS that worked on this read the fucking comments, watch the video. Everybody I've seen today has been saying it's the TARDIS. Stop with the TARDIS. Stop with the bullshit large interior turbolift shaft. Like, I don't understand why they thought that was a good idea. Well, even the time that thing took to travel, like, they would have hit It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We should calculate it. We should actually calculate how fast they're moving based on the size of the turbolift, find out how long they traveled for, and how big that ship actually is.
Yeah. Oh, I've definitely... yeah. It's embarrassing. Yeah.
Yep. Aeon, $5.
Thank you.
Could that turbo shaft possibly be inside the outer saucer?
No.
Nope.
It's way too big for that.
Yep.
Like, it can't fit in the secondary hull either.
No.
Especially like if you'd seen the shuttle bay, like a big wall, and then like go into it, maybe that would have been like, you understand? Okay, that's the cavern of the shuttle bay.
Yeah.
But no.
No, there's no way it would work at all. Area 51, $2. Here's $1 million.
Ooh.
Money times a million. Winky face. Thank you. All right. So Kai L. Wong, $5. I'm not saying Discovery is good or bad, but I've rewatched TNG, DS9, and Voyager a dozen times, but I doubt if it'll match any of Discovery. What? That needs some clarification for me, unfortunately.
Sorry, which one? Oh, Kai Wong.
Yeah. Not saying Discovery is good or bad, but I've rewatched DS9, TNG, and Voyager a dozen times, but I doubt if it'll ever match any of Discovery.
No, I think he says if I'll rewatch.
If I'll rewatch. Oh, okay, good. I was going to say. He says rematch, which should be rewatch. Yeah. Okay. But I thought it said it'll match. Again, my dyslexia. Fuck. Sorry.
I will say though, I was very much. I think we were both quite Picarded out, but it was a genuine struggle to rewatch Picard before the Picard Live, the retrospective. That was not fun. It was actually worse second time around because you realized it meant nothing. This one, I mean, kind of with everything. The first like 6, you're like, okay, try and see for what the threads are, and you start to get closer to the real time when you watched it. But I'm interested to rewatch the first 6 and see how it feels, knowing Burnham's going to be captain and Tilly's going to be second in command, and see where they went, because it's the first season they actually planned it, and therefore they should have put these hints in from episode 1. And in fact, I will say, Michelle Paradise, the showrunner, did comment in an interview, which we're gonna talk about on our live. There was their plan for her to be captain from episode 1. That was always the plan. I do not think it comes across. I believe. Well, I mean, they can say whatever they want. Doesn't mean it's true. It feels as if they changed course halfway through, but it feels like they changed course halfway through, visibly to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, Doug is filming right now.
Yes, Metallica fan 1442 £5. I'm not sure why those turbolift scenes reminded me of one of the prequel Star Wars films, Episode 2, I think. Okay. Charles Williams, $5 Australian.
Mm-hmm.
Loved hearing the original Star Trek theme song at the end. Thought Burnham would be first officer again, not captain. Poor Saru. Turbolift TARDIS weird. Saru's only on a leave of absence. Yeah. He's still a captain. He's still coming back. He's just thinking over his options right now. So who knows what's going to happen with him. He is back for season 4.
Well, put it this way, you'd never put Tilly in charge again as captain at her ensign rank. She absolutely showed it was the wrong decision. Burnham was an XO. They need a captain that day. So, like you said earlier, it actually makes some some sense. It wasn't because you've earned it. It was more a case of, I need a captain today. You're the only one that understands the ship, the crew, and the spore drive. Seriously, please. Mm-hmm. You'll also save the day, but like, I need you to now go get changed, get on the ship. You're going, which is okay.
Do you realize it took three seasons? Because at the beginning of the first episode of season 1, it's like.
Great time to pause there.
3 seasons later, she gets in the captain's chair.
Yes.
Damn.
Brief non-subject question though from Star Trekker 58. Can anyone explain why dilithium exploded across the universe at the same time, considering even faster than light travel takes at least 70 years, for example, for Voyager to get back to Alpha Quadrant? Your thought?
Well, they explain it. It's the scream from Su'Kal hit the lithium, and there was a big pocket of it. It was a planet of it, essentially, and it had a subspace element to it. So it resonated. Basically, it's a resonance frequency. Everything has a resonance frequency, even a car. If you get to a certain speed, things are going to start wobbling because they hit the resonant frequency. So that's exactly what happened with the subspace.
Mm-hmm.
not explosion of dilithium. It turned it all inert, which is a totally different thing. So yeah.
And just to be clear, they do not say exploded across the universe at the same time.
No.
They cannot scan past some amount of space. We have no clue what it's like in the Delta or Gamma quadrants at all.
True.
And they only have 3 black boxes that were all found in the Alpha quadrant. No, well, one was found further away. Anyway, basically, they're black boxes that show it was just time apart, but we don't know exactly how far they were from each other. If they went to the Delta quadrant, I'm sure there'd be a delay of several days, hours, minutes, whatever. So you can't say that at this point, and we don't even know how far it went. So I'm very content with them saying Delta quadrant unaffected, and it'd actually be stronger if they only affected one part of one of the quadrants. So can't say universe, and especially not universe, because do you really think that Andromeda's going to get hit by this dude? No, I mean, it's going to dissipate. You know.
No, but yeah, the galaxy. I think our galaxy's screwed because it's split up into 4 quadrants. Yeah. We're already in the alpha and beta quadrants. We haven't. I don't know how far we've explored. The Guardian of Forever thing, Carl. He was in the far reaches of the Gamma quadrant. So I would assume that it probably took out our galaxy at least, but that would probably be the extent of it.
Yeah, but again, we haven't actually seen anything out there, which is kind of good. They like their vagaries, adds to the mystery a little bit. But yeah, I just want to address that. And Sean does say Enterprise future tense, big on the inside Discovery tube shaft. No, because in season 1, season 2, and short treks they have them as well. So sorry, I know you're watching, etc.
Yes. So. All right, Cornelius Iron, $10.
Thank you.
A better line from Vance to Burnham at the end. The last captain, your brother, served under.
Ooh.
Served under was known for his unique command style and methods of cowboy diplomacy. You kind of remind me of him. Well, how could he remind it? That's like 800 years ago. He didn't necessarily study Spock. It just no.
Well,
a reference would have been fine, but I really wouldn't think it would have fit personally. So I'm glad they didn't.
All I would say to that is maybe you could have a line where you explicitly say that Vance was actually a fan of the TOS era, and therefore Kirk stands out because he's one of the most legendary captains.
Those old scientists.
I mean, it caught on, Stuart. It caught on. My old mentor, Ransom. Great.
He's probably a fan of like the 2800s or something. Like he's got a different era that he likes as opposed to TOS. Fleet Plus with back $2, 159 likes again at 300. We can hit it. Well, 360 people here and 262 likes. So yes, easily we have 100 more people than we have likes. So hit that like button, guys. Let's get up to at least 300. That'll be awesome. Maybe we'll hit 450 by the end of the stream. Who knows? But keep hitting that like button if you haven't. If you have, you can only hit it once, unfortunately. So Aeon, $5. In a way, perhaps they're going to in a more Star Trek positive route now. For example, nobody died except the baddies, the Gene quote at the end, etc. Yeah, it's a perfect reboot part. Like start season 4 and be Star Trek. Run into an anomaly that you have to figure out. Be Star Trek for a change, instead of worrying about the internal politics and blah 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 blah. The overarching thing for season 4 is going to be the reconnection and the reestablishment of the Federation. But please go to a planet that affects your crew, solve the problem, be Star Trek. That's kind of the vibe that I want anyway. So they have the.
They went to Trill, etc. Over a few planets.
They went to Trill. I mean, yeah, but still, we're not running into like Doomsday Machine one week and then having somebody steal the ship the next week and shit like that.
Last week they did steal the ship one week. Took 12 minutes.
What I mean?
Then we had Burnham McLean.
No, that's not somebody steal. That's somebody confiscating the ship. I mean, somebody stealing the ship, like a Discovery crew member who's not supposed to have the ship. And they take the ship first. Anyway, be Star Trek is what I want to.
It's getting closer, Stuart. It's getting closer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even the bad of this season ain't that bad. It's not good.
Yeah.
But it ain't bad. It's close, but it ain't bad. The bad of season 1 and 2 are fucking shite.
There you go. Threefold Path, 10 pounds.
Ooh.
This was a season of two halves for me. First half full of promise and character development. Second half disappointing answers to threads. And back to the Michael can do no wrong. Best person ever. I mean, I can see that, and I also understand everybody's disappointment with the burn. They made the burn up to be this thing, and what's the cause? And it's just this one Kelpian. I mean, I understand that people are upset about that. I think it's kind of a fun little science thing that makes sense. It wasn't a big baddie trying to take everybody down.
It's refreshing.
Yeah,
it's restrained. It wasn't the Klingons, the Romulans, Section 31.
Because you could imagine in TNG it'd be all the lithium in this sector just went inert. What the hell? Let's go over and find out. It's just one person on the planet. That's a TNG episode, hands down. So I have no issue with it being bigger than that and just being the one person. I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly explain why I find it okay, but that is completely up to people's, like, if they either do like it or don't, I can't change their mind. That's okay. No judgment. Yeah. It was not the worst thing for me, and therefore I think it... But I do certainly agree the Burnham, most powerful person ever, it did definitely do a nice gentle dip, and then I'll agree with that. Yep. But the thing is, as soon as we hit Starfleet, the Starfleet stuff was so strong in the second half that I can't think of the second half of the season being a big disappointment because that stuff was so strong. Vance was so strong. Wish the chief security officer lady was in it more than like 2 minutes an episode when she was in it. But I mean, hey, and to be fair, Stuart, the song was introed and then dropped because it wasn't important. And
that was never mentioned again. I forgot all about that.
Didn't get that because it didn't matter. It wasn't a thing. It was his lullaby, and he spread it.
And
But it wasn't like we were annoyed it'd be a constant. Like, oh my god, everyone hears the song and the whole galaxy. No. So they kept not falling into those pitfalls.
Yep. Kyle Wong, 5 pounds.
Thank you.
Don't like the reason of the burn. It should have been a Starfleet experiment gone wrong, and that's why people have distrust in the Federation. Well, some people probably think that. I mean, even the Navarians thought that SB-19 was the cause, and they were pushed to do it by Starfleet. So they held resentments to Starfleet for that. So I'm glad it wasn't Starfleet. I mean, either deliberately or unintentionally. Yep. I thought that it was a nice twist to have it be something kind of like, oh, shit happens. Something unforeseen. Yeah.
It was a random occurrence. And to be fair, it also brought about the future of the galaxy, because that would have also been the solution in their time. Finding that dilithium nursery, I think what maybe people may have wanted was a line about the mum genetically engineering her child to survive, and then it would have been a Federation fault. But then it would have been the Federation's fault, indirectly, but I would have felt a twinge of guilt. Like, it's no one's fault the way they played it, it just sucks, So I'm okay with the whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, we're caught up in super chats. Let's get into it. It's been an hour, which is usually what this happens. So that's great. Thank you so much, guys.
So we start with a Gormagander.
And I called it. I said it was a Gormagander 2 episodes ago when we saw them swimming around. I'm like, I wonder if that's a Gormagander. Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't think it looked like this because they made a point of saying it was a Gormagander. I think those are the flower models from Picard. I think this is a Gormagander.
Yeah, I know, but
no, it's good.
I know.
And I've even used the joke of a Gormagander from Discovery Season 1 in a fan film, so I'm absolutely fine with it. And to be honest, it's a really weird start. It's like, oh yeah, they still were around in 3056. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Sure, why not?
We start off with a really nice scene though, Saru and Su'Kal, and Su'Kal's like, for your wounds, and he like does so he uses the kelp to, and then later it pays off because he got the radiation treatment from Adira, and the guy's like, yeah, I told you it would work. See, and Saru's like, yeah, well,
like, yeah. I mean, thanks for trying. Oh. And I was surprised how uncringy all of this stuff was. They approached it with, again, maturity. None of the scenes were too long, and that is really impressive, considering all of the stuff could be uninteresting, but the fact is he wasn't the same character as episode 1 or the last episode, but he was wanting to at least engage a little bit, and you needed that shift to push forward. I do think a lot of credit Doug Jones in this episode. He throws a lot of nuance in his performance, so much that you don't even question what he's doing.
Yeah.
Which shows that he's doing very well, because he ain't no alien inside a human suit playing, whatever. So
Yeah.
good for them.
Yeah. James McGill, $5. Greetings all.
Hello.
On 3, let's recreate the burn. Think of your worst moments in Star Trek and scream your frustrations. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
The Turbolift.
Oh, I said JJ. JJ.
Yeah,
JJ.
But the Turbolifts, though.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because these people know better. JJ doesn't know better. These people should know better.
That's true. That is true. That is very
These
true.
people threw us an accurate TNG Season 1 uniform. JJ killed people with his stupidity. Not really.
Yeah. But then Adira shows up. Adira looks... I don't know what she looks like, but she's there.
Go back and watch our review. I was correct. The makeup is... Yep, this makeup is not identical because it's been like 2.5 years, but it is the same makeup as the alien from the Runaway, the Predator alien, who then is at the end of the season as well, I believe, to bring the Dilithium Princess. It is different. It's more colourful in this version, but clearly, I mean, the computer only knows the modern day version, so it's obviously just different. And what an unusual choice. A lot of time makeup chair for 0 payoff. But like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Anyway, so she hid the. I wondered why she put the stuff in her mouth before she left. I thought she was just taking a pill for herself or something. She hid it in her mouth because she overheard that the Hollow changed things. So I don't know if I buy that. Like, sure, they still have their stuff on technically, their radiation things that they have, but they can't see them. I don't know how to feel about that. That kind of bugged me right off the hop. But I don't know.
I mean, it's obviously an incredibly smart computer.
Yeah.
But also just put it in your mouth and it isn't hollow. I don't know, Stuart.
But it was smart enough to see Gray. Gray's there too. Gray's in Vulcan. And Gray's quite surprised.
Though, just to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And Gray's quite surprised that everybody can see him.
Shocked.
It's a hug and remembers how good it feels. And I like Culber. He's like, you're right. He does have kind eyes. I told you. Like, just a small little moment that didn't need to be there, but worked very well, I think.
Well, I think the most important thing about this episode is that none of the scenes were too long, except maybe the fight in the Turbolift. So everything kind of had its moment, paid off, moved on. Because these characters are very small in the context of the show, Adira and Gray, and so they felt appropriately used here, and that's all you need, But I do think this is interesting, and we'll talk about this on another video, because I've said we will, because the computer shouldn't understand this as a thing. Shouldn't understand the situation, which tells us something really special is going on with Gray and Adira, because this is not a trill situation. This doesn't happen. But this tells us, although it kind of mutes season 4 a bit, because if a 100 and let's say 70-year-old computer, let's say it didn't get updated for a bit, was able to show Gray by accident, flawlessly, from inside another person's brain. I mean, if season 4 doesn't start with Gray with a hollow emitter, EMH mobile emitter, you know what I mean? It's like, if a computer could do it by accident, well, of course they could do it. Like, I don't know why they were saying, "Oh my god, it's gonna be so sad." It's like, no, we'll just do it when we get home. Like, it is this easy, Which is fine. They never thought about it, but it is extremely easy now to bring them into the present, not in a physical, and in a physical form. So yeah, bit easy.
Yeah, but they bought some more time because they got more medication, so that's important.
And well done, Culber, for the well done the actors for the makeup, because good job with the not too distracting "I'm dying" makeup. You got him quite a long time to put that on, and I appreciate the more I saw of Culber, the Bajoran, I liked him more. Like, he really vibed well with that. It was a good choice, and the makeup of the scars was just a good choice overall.
But then we cut back to the Viridian firing. We got a super chat. Eugene, 250 rubles. Lullaby is a non-thing. Adira Gray had little to no purpose after Trill Planet. Sphere Data .23 is mostly not a thing. New Bridge red shirt is not a red shirt. Did someone invite Ryan Johnson? Well, a lot of those things could carry over to season 4, like the .23 thing.
Clearly, they're setups.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And same with the Adira Gray thing. Like that's definitely being carried over with this whole how this ends. With I don't want to get deconstructed when the program shuts off.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll find a way to fix you.
Well, that's why I say this is obviously not like a series finale. It's the intro to season 4. This is the setup year. No, I think they're all really good setups. Not that I mean they've got to have a satisfying payoff for the characters, because just having this love between two people, one of which is dead, isn't particularly interesting by itself.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't know, if there's a logic here of if we can, if Adira is a special enough human that can be implied with Trill symbionts, if we can make other humans do that, then we can actually bring back dead Trill hosts and bring their experience back.
Jesus.
But you know what I mean? That could be a genuine... That is a useful, groundbreaking thing. Just like the dilithium guy, that could be amazing. And then you could bring back like Terry Farrell as a Dax.
That seems too contrived, though, and that's like creating sentient life with holograms. You don't want to just...
Sure. But they were once alive, though. I mean, it would make the symbiont less.
True.
But
they died. They served their purpose. They did their time. You don't need to bring back everybody that's dead just because you can bring them back.
Sure, but I'm just saying...
I don't know.
There's stuff there that could be utilised for special. Because it isn't just a normal thing. It's a special thing. But yeah, we get a great little fleet shot with Voyager doing some pew. Although they still haven't disabled it. With what? Do you say like 11 ships? All firing?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. At least 14 ships. 15 maybe. Yeah, and the fleet must be shit. Like, I know he says, fire on Discovery, and the Cronenberg guy is like, what message does that send? That ship is how we reconnect with the rest of the Federation, or the worlds we've lost. So yeah, he does, and I thought the same thing at this moment. Like maybe he is the president, but then I thought, would the president really be doing an interrogation with somebody from the Mirror Universe? I don't think so.
And T-Luz Alan says Trill spoke with the previous host to some extent. Josiah did. Yeah, we know, obviously, but this isn't the same because it's not human. It's a completely different situation. That's why it's weird. They could have done that and had Adira better speak to Grey through that ritual, but they didn't, so it's not the same.
Yeah.
Very, very different. That's why it's interesting.
Yes. So anyway, Osira wants to get out of there. She finds out that their primary shield emitter is disguised as a secondary deflector array.
And that was a weird line because it comes out of nowhere and it definitely gives you vibes of, oh, there was an informant.
And yeah. And what is up with the upside down shot turn? Oh, if the director was having fun with this camera in a lot of these shots. A little too much, but oh well, whatever.
I would say it's probably 1 or 2 shots in the green. Like you almost got there, but not quite.
It worked with Oa at the end where she's on the floor sideways.
Yeah.
And then that worked. This one where it's upside down and then it turns, it's like, why are you doing that? Yes, it's a topsy-turvy crazy battle, but seriously, don't do that.
But I do think this battle is, for the most part, not great. But because there's no actual space battle here, you get 3 shots that are going pew, and no one takes any damage. No one does anything. There's no close-ups. There's no cut to other ships. So it's basically just, like you said, visual noise. It's for the sake of it. But if nothing does anything, then it's not really a thing. And like we said, if 9 ships can't take out Discovery, then either you made Discovery way too powerful, because Jesus Christ, or your ships are too old because they've been here without being refitted for decades, that, boy, please refit your ships. So it lets itself down for that. But it's also not bad, just it's not great,
S1 Anwar. We got a techno crane. We used the fuck out of it.
Techno crane?
For the camera, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So then we get on the Discovery. Osiris saying, you're gonna tell us what you know because we got the truth serum, and that's it. Michael comes on the bridge, gets slapped by Osira.
Mm-hmm.
She's all pissed off because she saw Stamets get ejected.
Would you not be?
Yep, but she even says we're gonna find a way to use it without him. God damn it!
Which we did this episode. It was easy. Yep. Barely inconvenience.
Oh god.
Super easy.
fairly inconvenient.
And you
Love
would
that
think that because this only takes place in a couple of hours, so Aurelius must have this in his brain of this is a possibility, but he's not telling her on purpose at this point. Like you would think, because he doesn't just have the revelation when she asks him in the Turbolift ride from the sick bay where he's unconscious to the bridge, you know? So they're already almost there. Now, I did like this scene because, remember, we've not had a single moment with the two characters together. And we knew they were going to fight at the end, but you can't have a villain face-off with a character that don't know each other and have nothing at stake. It's like when Nerissa faced Seven of Nine, you're like, this is a shit fight because they don't know each other. There's nothing here. Why do we care? But I appreciate their attempt to give us every moment they could of these women hating each other. And it was relatively effective. So I appreciated that because it was like literally starting from a zero, and that never happens. That's really weird. But it was good. Yeah.
But you really have to know the person that's commandeered your ship and going to kill your bridge officers and friends. You really need to know her to want to kick the shit out of her.
But it's just a cinematic thing of like, why is it satisfying if the people never met before? Remember, it's our primary hero and primary villain. But if they don't know each other, there's nothing there, like that venom. But there's enough there. So I'm trying to give him credit.
And John says Janet Kidder is Margot Kidder's niece, Lois Lane. Yes, and actually in the final fight scene, there's quite a few shots of her that she looks very much like Margot Kidder, like spitting image almost. And it's weird that it's her actual niece and not her daughter because it's so like. But yeah, Fleet Pop Swiftback, $2, 302 likes, a good engine too, again at 350. Well, we have 397 people watching and 308 likes, guys. We can hit 350 easily, I think. Let's push for it. Hit that like button if you haven't. We'd really appreciate that. But we got the bridge crew advancing with the .23s, which do nothing except get destroyed.
Hold on. Let me lead you into that. Stuart, the .23s. Remember the end of last episode where they appear and say, hello, guys, we'll help you because you've got nothing going. And that is literally the best of both worlds style sting. They reveal them. And they're raring, and we end the episode at Tilly's face like, yes, we'll retake Discovery. So, Stuart, tell us, what do the dots do in episode 13? The big payoff!
They die, every one of them.
But what else?
One of them saves a person's life.
They do.
And that's the main one. That's the yellow-eyed one. That's the important one. That's the sphere data one. Yeah, but I thought...
What else?
That's it. Absolutely nothing else.
Oh.
They don't even help access the turbolift that gets locked out.
No, they do, just off screen. They do. I mean...
but they don't, though, because they go up and it's like,
It takes a second.
No. These are supposed to be the Astromechs, the R2-D2s of Discovery. It's like, they're going to solve the problem. R2 always saves the day. Nope. Boom. Psh, pile of junk.
So I feel like we should all sing in the chat. What What are they good for? Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Who? Ha! .23 is. Everyone starts singing. What are they good for? Absolutely nothing.
That's not. No,
but
don't do that. That's all.
I'll give them credit. The CGI of them in the shot were very, very good. All the lighting, motion tracking. I mean, I've done shit like that before and it absolutely sucks. Brilliant. And I will say, I liked they didn't just shoot their hands as guns. I was waiting for them to go pew pew. I was like, okay, good. They haven't armed their dots because that would be a bit awkward and embarrassing, like visually. But yeah, they all get blown up, and because we've set up, they all contain probably the sphere data, but they're just their target. They just take shots. That's it. That's all they do.
La Juarez puts in $5.
Thank you.
Prediction for season 4: the sphere data is going to reconstitute and become a person like Data or Legion from ME, except hella cute. Good or a bad thing? The good thing, if it's done properly, technically it should still be in the ship's computer base, but well, yeah. I'm done talking about that. Calypso's not a thing.
Yeah, we'll talk about that thing. Yeah. But I will say, at least they aren't the Deus Ex we assumed they were. As in, Deus Ex means a thing that just solves the problem. Because we kind of assumed they would be, but they weren't.
But then we get wind. Wind in the corridor.
Are they fault?
No. Wind. Tilly's hair is blowing, though. It looks nice. Anyway, they're basically killing them by slowly leaking the air out. So Tilly's like, get to the turbolift, go, 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 go. And they get there and they're locked out. And it's like, shit. Good job, Dots. You can't even fix your own ship because you're part of it.
I guess maybe they didn't get him because maybe they happened to be on the same deck as the spore room and they just walked there and they didn't need a turbolift. Maybe.
Who are we talking about?
Well, the team, because they get the next thing they're in the spore chamber and they then walk to the nacelle. So clearly they have turbolift access. They'd have to, but maybe they managed to walk and they just didn't use them. Because there's certainly, like I said, a pad goes red, but
I just thought of something.
Yeah.
If you have to use a Jeffries tube in this fucking ship, do you have to crawl that far? Because we saw the turbolift shafts. There's supposed to be turbolift shafts and then Jeffries tubes running up along beside them, basically.
Wow.
So you can get anywhere where the turbolift goes, essentially. You know, that's what the Jeffries tubes are.
Gosh.
Shit. Anyway.
That is a long old route. And because it's a TARDIS tech, it's at least 35 floors for every 15 decks it should have. Goodness.
Acon71 throws in €10 with a little super pair. Thank you very much for the super pair.
That's cool. Thank you.
And Joshua 11345, $5.
Thank you.
Jet Reno, aka Tig Notaro, didn't want to play in Star Trek Discovery that much because of the virus. Hopefully next season she can be more full time. Well, she's filming the next season right now, and that's why she doesn't want to be there as well this season because of the virus. So she won't be in the next season very much.
Second half, who knows? Hopefully, but yeah, certainly won't be in it much. I mean, you do it over comms, but I mean, as you'd said, she'll be in more than this season. This season she was in like 10 scenes, so it'd be hard to do any less. But I don't mind the whole losing air situation, although I just realised that's another Galaxy Quest scene. I mentioned how the, 5, 4, there's multiple scenes of Galaxy Quest. This happens. And in an equally embarrassing, slow way.
It's, like I said, it's stupid villain syndrome. Just depressurize all the ship, except for the bridge where your crew is. Kill everyone else. Then you have no threat of anybody doing anything. Why let them die slowly and come up with a plan and get desperate? And sure, you want to scare them. It's a terror tactic, but no. If you want your plan to succeed, be smart. It's simple.
I mean, I liked the idea of the decompression in the sense that it stops you from being like everyone can't breathe. But then I was expecting to either go into spacesuits or to find more than one breather. Because if they could find one breather, they could find more than one breather. Yeah. How many emergency kits have one?
There would be multiple ones scattered on different deck on every deck.
Remember,
you think there'd be emergency stuff?
Since most of the ship is hollow, every corridor has a specific purpose. So therefore there would be locks.
Yes.
But to be fair though, we've called out a few times that the corridors are filled to the brim, and with only 125 people on the ship, to have 18 people in one corridor. I mean, all the evidence is suggesting the ship's hollow, and there's like 10 corridors. And they just, go between places. And to be fair, you have the transporters now, so you don't even need the internal volume because you can now beam everywhere.
Sure.
But yeah, so I don't mind the thing. It just would have been much better if it depressurized quickly. They said we've got 4 minutes, and then they go into spacesuits. Problem is, spacesuits either haven't been. Oh, there could be a joke of like, wait, these are still our old spacesuits. Yeah, the new ones won't arrive until Thursday or Tuesday. Whichever Enterprise B joke it is. That would have been kind of fun. I could see that. So, a bit sad they didn't think of spacesuits, but whatever.
James McGill, $5. Love this episode, but I have mixed feelings about the turbolift scene. It shouldn't be mixed feelings. It should be you absolutely despise the turbolift scene.
There's nothing positive about it. Yeah. Didn't even look good. Like, it didn't even look cool.
Just too much wasted space aboard a starship. Sarcastic Vulcan salute. Yeah. Aeon, $2. Yes, could have hid in the turbo planet. Yep. Samu Ray, $2. Bots look like Wally's girlfriend. Yes, she look like Eva.
And to be fair, they're not a bad design. They're better than the other ones. They just serve no pose of any kind.
Yeah. Threefold path, 5 pounds. Slowly lower them into the tank of sharks with friggin' laser beams attached to their heads. Yes.
Friggin' laser beams.
While explaining to them your entire plan so that should they escape, They'll know what to do to stop you. Yeah, it's the stupid villain syndrome.
Yeah, and Oddish says, well, everyone liked the final. Fuck the haters, it felt like Star Trek. Yeah, we liked it too. It was good.
Yep, definitely.
Easy. Although, I don't think this Asian actor's acting was very good. She stood out as being not particularly convincing as a bridge officer person. She looked great in uniform, didn't really give the dialogue particularly convincing, and neither are looking at the right eye line for the hologram either. I noticed that. They're looking way too high.
Yep. But Stamets comes in and says, hey.
Yeah, which I called.
Yeah. Captain Saru's in the nebula. Let's go save Captain Saru. That's all I care about. And I love Vance here. He's like, I know what you're sacrificing for this. Get the fuck out of here. You're on a civilian transport. And you're far away from Discovery as we can. I loved it. Slapped him down. You're trying to be greedy and selfish. I know it's your family, it's your life, whatever. But get the fuck out of here. So.
I mean, Stamets, there is some rationale. Let's storm the ship. You have more than enough ships, more than enough crew. You should be able to storm the ship pretty easily. You know what I mean? Like that is a viable plan, and once you have it, you could go. But yes, Vance was right in there, and I felt really not uncomfortable, but gut punch with this scene because it's very effective. And when you realize at the end, Stamets is only in these two scenes, and they're both gut punches, you're like, ooh, interesting choice. Interesting choice.
Second one was, well, I was going to say it's subtle. It's not really that subtle, but anyway.
So I can imagine that. I can imagine they might have said to Anthony, like, you haven't got that much in the last 5 episodes, but we're going to give you something really strong at the start of season 4. Like, we're going to give you a little bit of an arc.
Yes.
Not that I want to see just pissy at Michael, because that kind of goes, because the thing is, everyone survived, so he can't be that pissy. And if everyone says you did the right thing, even the audience, you know what I mean? It's hard to follow him for that long, but good scene.
And Hugh's not upset with her.
No,
because that last shot where she comes on the bridge, Stamets kind of gives her the, I'm here, but Hugh's like,
Captain. Yeah, it's
like he's all like smile from ear to ear, like.
Well, she saved him. The context is she did get back and save him at the right time. Only Stamets knows that choice.
I know, but oh my god, it's just such a contrast.
Yeah, which is interesting. It's gonna be interesting for sure.
John Woke puts in $5 for a second. I thought they were going to take Stamets to the ship that had another spore drive Starfleet had built in secret or something. I mean, we wanted ships to spore in to save the day. Yep. That would have been cool, but I like the idea of them just getting him the key to the engine, essentially, as far away from the thing as possible.
Yeah, because then you can chase her. Spore jump, once she's gone, she's gone. As long as you can warp it, you can chase her.
Yeah, and Alex MG1 says that was a real CNC moment. Yes. And we find out too that he understands because he has a wife and a kid that we find out at the end of the episode. So when he does this and says, "Trust me, I know what you're sacrificing, but fuck off." Well, he's not saying it just because he doesn't understand. He knows exactly what's going on.
It's not just that, but there was a really editing choice that I think was fine, where he's like, 30 seconds left. Mr. Stamets, we're really busy. 20 seconds. We're gonna lose a shit. Like it's like, this is the worst 30 seconds you could have come to see me, Stamets. Like you said, get the fuck out. So there was a nice little, and then it all falls apart. Like, can you imagine losing your attention for the last 30 seconds you have shields? Oh, yeah.
It happens to me all the time when I'm watching something. I'm watching it. Nobody bugs me all goddamn day. But as soon as there's an important part, somebody will come strolling down the stairs. Dad, shut the. I'm watching something. It's an important part. Pause. You just broke my concentration.
He's just about to say, Luke, am I your father? But Stuart, do I important? And then I'm going to do the same thing with the dots right now. So, and then Stuart, the thing we're waiting for all episode. You get a signal. The Navarians are going to warp in and see you. Captain, or CNC, I'm sorry I didn't detect them in their 4 hours in flight. Because
I'm sorry we can't get a visual transmission from them.
And I'm sorry we couldn't hire the lady that played the Admiral or anybody to be in it. But they're inbound.
She was in it at the end.
Yeah, well, yeah.
President lady.
She should have on the bloody ships. That'd have been nice. Not the
Anyway, yeah.
They warp in.
Fleet. So Vulcan and Romulan tech combined. We're going to see an awesome fleet. There's a hole in the shield. Look, there they come. In the distance.
And that's the best view we get.
Yay. hoping for more later. Yep.
And it still bugs me that why do you only detect them 2 seconds away from your space?
Because their warp is so fast. We've talked about this. The future warp scale is impressive.
Oh, I know. I mean, it would be fine.
That's how they got from Navarre to here.
You know what it should have been? You know what it should have been? It should have been they decloaked.
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone has cloak, and they have the most advanced cloaks.
And they would have the most advanced super cloaks, yes.
Yeah, and they only came in when they needed to. That would have been great. That would have been great.
And everybody's saying, look, pixels, we see dots. Don't worry, guys. We have a video coming out. Of course we do. We're Trekyards. That looks at the ships, upscale, detailed. Don't worry. It's coming. Keep an eye out. Hit subscribe and notify. Speaking of, 438 people here. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. 341 likes. We still have to hit 350.
Yes.
Samuel wants to hit 450 by the end of the stream. So everybody, please hit that like button. Even if you're just popping in for a second and popping out, hit that like button before you leave.
Yes.
Let's get those likes up.
So what do you think when the Navarrians arrived?
I was like, sweet. What? I wanted to see them more. I want to see an outside battle. But we get a shot of Discovery. We get a nice, beautiful pan of it going into warp. You see the Navarrians behind it for a second. Then the camera changes. It warps away, and all of a sudden then you see them in warp. And it's like you can't see any detail because they're just streaks.
Well, not just that, but you cut to credits, or you cut to titles, as the ships start to come by, as if the CGI shot was about 5 seconds longer and they just cut it at the wrong place. Like, don't have the ships start to come into frame and then cut. It was a really awkward edit.
Yeah.
And everyone likes the picture I chose for the current still because it's a decent moment, but it falls flat quite quickly, especially as they serve no purpose except to put pressure on them. But as we said, Starfleet should be able to take them out quite easily, for sure.
Yeah, and Double Guitar says, I like how they mentioned Voyager again. Yes, Voyager was leading the fleet against them, which is great.
Yeah.
And it gets mentioned later, too. Voyager is mentioned twice in this episode.
And it's annoying because in rewatching it, Vance says, Voyager takes the lead on attacking the Viridian, and everyone else to attack Discovery. That would have been great to see it, like, two fleets, and there's no connection, as if they didn't have the CGI time to actually do any sort of real battle of actual things happening, because the Viridian really comes across totally undamaged despite being part of a theoretical battle.
Samu Ray puts in $5 safely pop. Why was I muted immediately after a warning? I didn't mention Tilly after your warning. Mute me again, and I'm not spending any more money. Well, Sam, he hid your comment because you were talking about gender things, so that's not really acceptable. So that's why. But yeah, don't threaten the moderators. Basically, they're doing their job.
But thanks.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, Navarrians, and explain Osira's plan, because it escalates quite quickly.
Oh, good God. Yeah, this is the deploy the cache of pesticides. Target shuttle bays, intakes, and airlocks. Okay, so you're going to launch pesticides and maybe blow them up or whatever at airlocks and stuff. So you're in space, which is a vacuum. The ships are pressurized. You're going to somehow force this through the vents and airlocks of a pressurized ship. That's backwards of how things work. Just saying.
They're implying she has a WMD, and it's like, wouldn't you think you would ready that last week, etc. But the way they do say it though in a second, and it's hard to catch, it's very, very quick, is that the infected shrapnel will hit the ships, and that's what they say. So I guess it's implying that the shrapnel will go through the 32nd century shields, hit the hull, and then the infection go in and kill people. I didn't buy it. I don't believe it's going to damage it. Maybe inside the starbase with its shields down it could do something. I didn't buy it. I don't buy everyone's being like, it's like, it's not that. It's a muted threat, and I kind of wish Vance was like, yeah, we can take that, but let's not risk it. Or if the civilians were leaving and they were like, target the civilian fleet, that'd be much better, you know. So I didn't. It wasn't a smart move.
No.
Like, of course the ships can deal with it.
Yeah. Fleet Pass Swiftback $2. Big jump. We sailed past 350. Now on to 400. Yes, 375, which would have been my next goal. We already hit it. 433 people. Hit like if you haven't already. We need 24 more likes now to get to 400.
And a good comment that I want to address. Limerick says, ridiculous how weak the Starfleet HQ shields are when attacked by one ship from inside. Slight clarification, they weren't attacking the HQ's shields, they were attacking the shield bubble generator, which are designed...
Which was disguised as a secondary deflector.
Which is a weird set of lines. So, because Starfleet HQ was never in danger, and don't get a sense they're actually in danger the entire time, they're fine, is they had to leave, etc. So I was actually fine with that, because they had to get out. I mean, if you attack any shield generator, that's okay, because that's a standard tactic. The shield's meant to work from the outside, So actually, it was okay.
And Sammy Ray says, sorry, I guess I don't feel represented in STD. They marginalized me. Yeah, well, go watch every other show ever existing, and you won't feel marginalized. So it's no big deal.
I mean, yes, there's no straight white male, but I don't feel I need to be represented.
No,
give me good stories. I don't care what color. I mean, you can feel how you want. That's absolutely fine. But don't think of it as not being represented. Think of it as Earth's doing good and people are doing good. And as long as like Vance is nice and Kolber's nice and
hey, he's a straight white male. He's representative.
Well, obviously not white.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, weird lines.
Anyway,
the actor's lovely though. I've met most.
He's
of them.
awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Here she's like, Navarre's here because of me. They trust me. So does Vance. Put me on screen. I'll get you free. And she's like, I'm a little busy to be playing games. I thought that line was kind of funny, actually.
Yes, that was good. But
yeah.
I actually laughed out loud when she said, Vance trusts me. I'm like, no, he doesn't. No, you've proved yourself not trustworthy again and again. No, don't be stupid. Oh, you'll give a command. Fuck.
Yeah. But then she's like, we hailed you at my request. Let us go. And I love Vance. Yeah, says the person who has the hostage who has a phaser to their head.
Not gun, phaser. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was great. And then Vance just gets pissed off, essentially, because she says, we haven't seen eye to eye, but just trust me. And he's like,
his eye twitch is great.
Yeah, and he closes it down, and even Osiris like, oh, well, that didn't work, but it did because everybody started pulling back. Yeah. So I love the way that whole thing played out.
But also, why is he letting her go? He has no idea what's happening on the ship. He has no intel of any kind.
I think he thinks that's the trump card that he's going to be like, yep, I have that. They don't have a way to use that spore drive right now. So better to just let. Maybe Michael has a plan because she's come through before.
She's also captured.
True.
Like, it would be fine if she was on a separate comm channel.
I think that was the whole thing of her saying, just trust me. Trust us. The way she said it implied she had a plan.
No,
he was maybe like, okay, well, fuck.
But you're risking a lot. Like, all I need for that scene to work... the scene works better after a few minutes. All I wish is that for him to turn... So if Vizsgård goes down, he turns to second in command. Have the fleet follow them. That's all you need. Because as soon as the fleet's shown to follow them, you're like, oh, what was the point in leaving if the fleet's going to follow them anyway? Like, they're seconds behind. What has Osira gained? Nothing, really.
She's gained seconds.
Okay, which she needed, apparently. So it works fine, but the scene feels a little bit odd of like, just trust me, I have no plan and no solution and no one's on the ship to help me and you have no plan, but it's fine. It's like, oh, okay.
Christian Montgomery, $2. Hey. Multiple tractor beams on each nacelle.
Yeah, they forget tractor beams.
Corvin Bond, $2.29.
Thank you.
Please make an analysis of the map in Starfleet HQ. I'm sure we will at some point. We already have looked at a few references we got of it before, and we've talked about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, but definitely you should go back and find what little notes, because see what we can piece.
Yeah, we will do a video on it for sure. Snoopy McQueen, $5. Captain Burnham, right choice. She's a leader. She's smart, and she's like Kirk. She knows how to survive, and crew has confidence. Oof. I'm getting sick of people comparing her to Kirk. Kirk didn't flat out break the rules and be a dick. He rose through the ranks because he was assertive. He took charge of situations. He didn't deliberately disobey orders, which she's done on multiple occasions. She's more of a Mariner. You know, Mariner and her have a lot in common. But I'm really sick of the Kirk comparisons because she's not Kirk at all. Except for the fact she's lucky and survives everything. There you go. That's the Kirk. Although I did like this is a no-win scenario. We're not used to those. Well, you should be. You know, I'm surprised there was no mention of the Kobayashi Maru there.
Well, it was close enough.
Yeah.
I will say, I like your eloquence there, Snoopy, and I technically agree with everything you said, but also she's shown to choose a wrong choice over her captain and the Federation with Vulcan Hello, and she breaks the rules to the point of disrupting everybody and everything multiple times. Yeah. Kirk did that maybe twice, and one saved the planet, and he got demoted. Burnham gets demoted a little bit and then given captain again. You know, they're not the same. Kirk, there's always that thing. There was a great video essay of Kirk is actually an incredibly strong rule follower until the movies. But you only remember the movies because he becomes a rule disgracer. Otherwise, she's a good XO. And she might. She's a good captain if you give her if you know she's going to go against the rules and do whatever the hell she wants. Like, she will break your orders if she feels like it, no question. You know, she's that sort of captain. Maybe you need that in your fleet, but not on your most pride of possession ship, because she gets people killed, she risks things, and they made a point of the first 6 episodes she was a really bad leader, etc. But the last 4 shows she was a good leader. So, confusing. Hey, reboot her again.
Yeah.
But it does make more sense the captain be the best person ever.
Yeah.
But please, although it means she can't go on the same away missions, like, theoretically it means she'll be more ship-bound and less off her own, you know, theoretically, if they follow the correct tradition of what the captain should be. So maybe the bridge could be given more, because she has to rely on...
But they're in a different era where ships are limited, so are captains likely, so the captains are going to have to be going in on the missions. This is not TNG.
No.
This is, like, way past TNG.
But in Discovery Season 1 and 2, you'd have her always doing her own thing and the captain back on the ship. This way around, I'm hoping that now she'll... Because she can't be the captain can't be the one that walks to the science station and solves the problem for the science officer. The captain has to be in the captain's chair taking options. She can't solve everything as captain. That's not what a captain's job is. So I'm hoping that means that in Season 4, she'll be looking at the bridge crew saying, Bryce, what do you think? This. Okay, do it. Rather than, you know, she can't... I'm really hoping that's the opportunity. You know, reboot her back as an actual captain character. So a lot of potential there. Sorry, that was a good point by Snoopy.
Classic Gaming Replayed, $5. Loved the season finale overall. I wanted to show some support for your great attitudes. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Caleb Horn, $5. Feels like there was supposed to be some sort of mole in Starfleet HQ subplot, but it was dropped last minute, but some of the dialogue wasn't cut. Weird. I mean, yeah, I could see them planning that, and that's how I knew about the spore drive and all that kind of stuff. And we talked about that a few times, who it could be. I'm glad I completely forgot it was a thing in this episode because it was just the way it played out. But it could still be a season 4 thing, a holdover, which they'll say, hey, we referenced in the last season. So who knows?
What I would like to have seen is a single line when she got into Starfleet Command, say to one of her people, okay, start deep scan. I want a way of getting out of here. Because they were there for a good couple of hours. They were scanning it, you know? I can see them working out. It was very abrupt.
Yeah. Joshua Steams, $5. The writing was so good last episode. I feel let down with this one. Well, these last 3 episodes were written as one thing, and it was just chopped up into 3 episodes, pretty sure. Like, this was one story.
Oh, certainly one story, yeah. I don't think the writing was much worse. It was just a much more action-based episode. Last week was much more develop-based episode, so it's just a different beast, you know? It's hard to write action dialogue good because it's just not the same sort of action. But speaking of, we jump back to the planet.
Yeah.
Unless we don't.
Lacerith 2, though... No, it's fine. Lacerith 2 said, why didn't she say burn it for warp? That'd be awesome. Burn it.
Too soon.
And Samu Ray, $5. It's not just me that made that observation. Rob Burnett said they group of LGBT characters in their scenes and the black characters in theirs. Why? I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's good characters, and the storytelling's pretty decent. So,
And as we know, Book isn't a black character. He's a character. Nothing about him is black except his face. Like his doesn't affect him, or Sonequa either. You know. Although I guess no, technically this season we did get straight white male from Saru as Doug Jones. Technically, he's straight, he's white, and he's good. Technically, for two episodes, if you want to go that far.
But he's still a Kelpian.
He is still a Kelpian. He's a hollow white player. But speaking of, I think this was well handled, this next scene. And again, I was surprised how I wasn't disconnected with the planet scenes. I know I keep saying it, but I was impressed actually by the pace. It's nice. The way he tells him about Kelpian, having his meal, it's actually quite sweet. I'm going to give them all the credit they deserve. Good for them.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, talking about who taught you how to make it. Well, my father. It was one of the best memories of my childhood. It was great.
Yeah.
But the hollows don't give good instructions. I love the way he talks. He's so good.
Yeah. My only annoyance, I do wish they'd start calling them holograms and holodecks. Calling everything a hollow has got tired for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel your pain, my friend. Then we get a nice warp shot, and warp's kind of improved a bit. I don't know if it's just me. Here we see some of the ships from the back as well. Starfleet and Navarian.
I don't know if any Navarian are here. I really had to look, and I think they're just the Starfleet ships because they're all big and it's really, really, really hard to tell. But I think they're just the Starfleet ones. Although, why are they going towards a quantum singularity black hole effect? Like, that's my only confusion. Both sides of the warp tunnel is a black hole effect. I don't get that.
It's better warp than we've seen from Discovery, okay? Let's just count our blessings.
Are you saying if this warp works, it'll be the funniest character we've ever seen? Get it?
No.
Jar Jar?
No,
George Lucas?
Oh,
no one goes, okay. But Stuart, as you know from our show notes, I have a video topic about this, so we'll save it for that.
Yep, absolutely.
But I was pleasantly happy with this. And it's rare for this sort of show. Although, one more bit of credit. Before they warped out, when the Navarians appeared, it's very hard to hear, and I know you got subtitles. I believe the person in the helm says multiple Navarian races have showed up. They don't imply, like, it's not just the Navarians have appeared, it's a case of, yes, both of the races, because they're distinct, the Romans and Vulcans have showed up. They actually made a clarification there.
Where was this?
When they warp in, the regulated people say that, I believe.
All right, let me take a look.
Yeah, it's hard to hear, but I was like, ooh, that's an interesting choice. Rather than just summarising them both as Navarians. Have a look.
Okay.
But yeah, I like the warp effect for sure. I'm also scrolling.
Yeah, I'm just... I wish we would have mentioned that earlier, because I gotta go back and find it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to... I just saw the shot... shot. But then we get a good line from the season or episode 2 villain, who does say, "I'm a courier," which was not established previously, but I appreciate that actually helps. He wasn't like a warlord, he's actually a courier, just, went a bit aggressive with it. So I like that little retcon. Well, I'm sad about the performance, the things the scientist guy was given. He's nowhere near as good this week because he wasn't given anything good. Like a little bit, but he was both him and the episode 2 guy was severely underappreciated this week.
The poor bastard. Last time he got fucking stunned in the face.
He did get stunned in the face.
And then it's just awake in the next scene. This one he gets choked out. And then it's just awake in the next scene that he's in. It's like the poor bastard.
And Burnham, who's never met him, decides to bring him to the bridge for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does Synthol get you drunk?
All right.
No, it does not.
It does not. Okay, so we're at the scene now.
And it's not it's definitely warp because they say go back to
the regulator says Navarre razors are blocking our way out of the shield, sir. So the ships are called razors.
Ooh.
But that's all it says.
Okay. Well, it was something unique.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Cool. But they've got the guy under truth serum, but they can't give him any more to make him actually talk because he's apparently got a tolerance, which shows his backstory a little bit. A little bit lackluster of a scene, honestly, but for me, it was over so quick that I was okay with it. It was like wasn't great,
Yes.
moving on.
Yes. Flavius V. Flanta. It's in 25 somethings.
Oh. I was confused there. Let me have a look. Ron is £6 Romanian leu.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Hey, everyone. Have a great year. Like the new Warp Effect season finale was okay, an 8 out of 10.
Ooh.
Sweet. And Caleb Horn throws an amazing $10 super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Caleb. Appreciate it.
10 out of 10 for Saru and Doug Jones this season. Fantastic work, and I'm sad that he may not remain Discovery's captain. Maybe Burnham will step in it again and have to step down. Props to other Kelpians as well. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the season 4 thing in a future live. We'll talk about our ideas for season 4.
That'll be a fun live for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I like how she breaks him out of here. Because they're basically going to kill him because he's an empath. So using the device on him is excruciatingly more painful than for a regular person. So they're about to kill him. I love how she does it too. She's get your hands off me, and she goes up to him and she hits the thing for quarantine. So it goes up. She takes out one of the regulators and then shoots the other one, and gives Book a gun. I thought that was so well done. And get that force field down. I love that because emergency quarantine fields in sickbay would be super important. Oh, wait a minute, that scene comes later, doesn't it?
Yes.
Shit.
That's okay. I'll jump back and describe this scene with Saru and Dude Man. They share a meal. He reveals he's a Kelpian, I believe, in the scene. Nope,
Yes.
that was earlier. No, this is the burn scene. They talk about the burn, and the guy's rather good in this scene because it's like, yes, it says, the Federation were meant to come save me. Why didn't they? Well, they wanted to. Want is not the same as...
It couldn't, yeah.
Great little line, although very uneducated because often there's a reason why can't. Want is quite important. Can't is also important, but he actually has to explain the burn, and it's hard because it's like, ugh. But he wants to know. He says, "This is my world, mate. You explain shit. I want to know." So it's an interesting scene for sure, and very simple, but appreciatively simple. And again, Doug Jones is rather good here. And then he awkwardly says, "Wait," at the end of it, and that's the scene.
Yeah,
but it's good.
Not much going on there, so.
But he does. This is the important scene to have the guy understand the burn and the fact that we wanted to come, but we couldn't. But But then the scene with Burnham. My only note, really, apart from it's fine, is that I think it would make more sense for the force field to only go over the bed. The fact that it also covers a door doesn't sit true with me, because why?
Yeah, that's very true. The doors, I mean, I can understand it going around the person that initiated it and people near the bed as a quarantine thing measure, just in case they get infected too. But yeah, for the open door, it's a bit strange.
Like, because as soon as the force is like, okay, cool, and then they walk through the door, I'm like, but that doesn't make sense. Why would you force field half of the room?
Well, there's probably a force field at the door, though, as there is. Like, you can walk through if you need to.
And to be fair, you can see a blue line. I could buy that. I just wish it had been, she activates it, force field appears, and then she presses it again, and then it moves and like covers the door. That's all it would have needed.
Yeah.
So it's a bit abrupt, but again, it's quick, it's over and done with, and the adrenaline joke is okay with Book. Like he's dying a bit, and then adrenaline does give you a lot of extra So yeah, as escapes go, not too bad. Oh, and this really lost me in the first time, but in rewatch, then you get this shot through the bowels of the ship, see multiple decks worth of above the spore chamber, and it's like big open space again. So you want to talk about them constantly saying the ship is massive. It's like, what is this cavern? Why is there caverns everywhere? Why?
Yeah. Well, here we learn that Oa can hold her breath for 10 minutes.
Wait, you didn't tell me that.
Die for abalone.
You didn't tell me that, Stuart. Oh, you told me everything in bed. Wait, what? It was kind of a little bit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of the Detmer was like, what?
It's like such a small thing. Why did I tell you? What do you mean? What? You've asked me about my past at all. What do you want from me?
What did she say exactly?
Dear.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah, 'cause she could hold her breath for 10 minutes since she was 8 years old. I didn't know that.
Like, I don't think they're dating. I don't think that's exactly what they're saying, but it's oddly played by the actors for that.
I think they are. There's so many little hints over the course of the season.
It's definitely adding up. Yeah. But I like her story. Like, it's a good setup. Yeah. It's obvious where it's going, but it's fine. Yeah.
But they get a code red on deck 5, and it's Michael.
I like their appreciation.
Then we get the whole. She basically uses the regulator thing to activate the ship's comms and says, it almost sounds like a personal log or a clip of a personal log or something, talking about the birthday and how we, found you, played 7-card stud, drank synthahol. Yeah. Too bad we didn't have fireworks. Fireworks. Nothing stops a party like fireworks. Like
fireworks. Tilly. The important word is fireworks in the secret message. Tilly, fireworks.
And birthday, because they were in the nacelle.
True.
Tilly, blow up the nacelle.
What? And my only note here would be, how does she get the guy's command code to activate his systems? You'd assume they'd lock that down. Like, she gives a command code of a security guy. Where the hell did she get that code? She didn't interrogate any of them. Like, either don't make it coded, or explain how she gets the code. You can't do both. But again, they go past it so quickly. Who cares? And I like the message. It's nice. It works better second time because you know what's going on. You can appreciate the acting. Yeah, it's good. And I like that she realizes the badge is going to track her and destroys it. Although I don't like the fact she stomps a badge made of super advanced metal. Burnham, you're kicking it. It's doing nothing. It's fine. I get more of a symbolic thing. Like, no way her foot will do any damage to it. But at least leaving it was a good choice.
So the code is fireworks stopping the party in the nacelle. So Tilly puts it all together, and so they're temporarily going to break the magnetic seal between the nacelles and the struts, and that'll temporarily take them out of warp, which I liked, because everybody complained about how bad the detached nacelles were. It's not a weak spot.
Except
you
us.
Can still do. Well, yeah, you can still do this with struts attached. You set off a explosive device near the end of the strut where it connects with the nacelle. You're either going to break it off completely, or you're going to disrupt the magnetic flow still and still knock a ship out of warp. So either way, attached or not. And we know they attach before they go to warp because we see it at the end. So there's multiple things there. But yeah, great idea for getting them out of warp, just to give them a chance for the fleet to catch up. So, yeah. And you can't rely on a dot to do it because the magnetic fields would destroy the dots. So one of them has to do it, and it's a suicide mission. But we got to do it to stop Osira from destroying the Federation.
Now the problem with this, though, and I'll approach it now while we're here. In the second watch, you realise this entire subplot is just to give them something to do. Because them dropping out of warp changes nothing, affects nothing, means nothing. Burnham was all, and when Burnham gets the power back on, and Arosha and they're all like, "We did it!" It's like, no, you dropping out of warp didn't affect the plot at all. Didn't affect where Osira was. Didn't affect Burnham's ability to take out Osira. Didn't affect anything. So you're celebrating your lack of achievement, but they had to give the crew something. First watch, you think is really important. Second watch, whereas it's just absolute side mission that does nothing.
Yep.
It's weird. It shows they don't care about the bridge crew really, because they would have meant more. And it's annoying because it's like it's a cool idea, but it's wasted.
Yeah.
On second
Andrew
viewing.
says, "I'm curious." Andrew says, "I'm curious how turbolifts get Washcom to the nacelles. They are detached from the ship." No, they're not. Before the ship goes into warp, they attach. So they are physically attached. And somebody else said, where is it here? Would a nacelle falling off in warp cause the ship to spill and possibly explode? Possibly for a ship that's not used to that, but the detached nacelles, when it comes out of warp, it's wobbling, and you can see the replicatable matter trying to fix it, and it does get fixed, but it would temporarily disrupt it. That's the point, right? So it's fine.
Yeah, and I do wish they were a little bit more obvious in showing the nacelles attaching to themselves. You really have to pay attention to see it. You do not see it first time, because then you're left thinking, well, how is she going through empty space to get to the nacelle? Very small thing. I wish they'd.
But it's a very small thing, because literally we see Vance and Willow walking in the lower part, walk through an archway, and then they're up at the top part because they beamed up. Remember?
Yeah, but they've got beaming disabled, so that.
But true, but it
jammers.
could just be like a linked corridor thing. I don't know. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, but I'm just. Yeah, it's fine. You just have to actually go back and look. Would have made more sense in the classic Discovery, obviously, but that's okay.
Milan Drakovic. Sorry, it's. Yep, I should know it because I'm married to Sylvia.
Thank you.
250 something.
Okay, let me go.
RSD. I don't know what it is.
It is Serbian dinar. So it's $3. Don't know. Have we had Serbian before? I'm not sure. Thanks so much.
I think we have.
I mean, it has been a few years, so but thank you so much.
SFX was 12 out of 10 this season, taking into account that most of the season was post-produced at home. Warp Core Blast was wow. Last 10 minutes were rushed.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I would both fully agree and fully disagree in different ways. I think they put VFX time on the wrong things, like having really detailed space aliens and really poorly detailed spaceships. When the spaceships will last a test of time, the aliens won't. Like, this gas monster looks incredible, but shouldn't you have detailed the Viridian more and made it make more sense, etc.? And the last 10 minutes I thought was some of the best of it. I thought the warp core bit was rushed and crap. But hey, glad you enjoyed it.
I'm asking Sylvia right now via text how to pronounce that name because I want to say it right.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Can you take over for just 1 second? I just gotta go to the washroom.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. How are you guys doing? Very, very happy to see you all today. No, Brian Shishi went into the nacelle. You do see that. Yeah, the effects were good, but a bit dark. But I mean, of course they're going to be good. They're a high-budget production. Let's have a look. What is Saru's role now, Michael, as captain? What will he do when he comes back? If he comes back, he is coming back, confirmed. He's not leaving the show, and he'll probably be captain as well, either of the same ship, different ship, or let Michael Burnham do something else. But he won't be second in command. He's already too good as a captain. I thought one of them would die. Yes, we did too. Yes, Discovery doesn't do ships on the Discovery that well. Honestly, they will get a C team effort. Yes, certainly. I mean, less detailed than was in Star Trek Enterprise in 2004. 2001 actually. Lower poly models for sure. Nice textures, but that's not saying much. Let's see. Yeah, loads of turbolifts. Yes, Dave, I was delighted to see the inside nacelle. We will get there as well. Well, let's keep chatting. So yeah, we get a relatively small scene of, but showing that Carl, is able to at least see his sphere. Explains that this is part of the program, part of the the story. You have to deal with it. You have to move forward. And then we get Kolber and the let's say the girls, but not the girls, and the other team members trying to find the other Vulcan, and it's a bit of the exposition scene.
So I found out how to say it. Sylvia's going to say it because I can't pronounce it. Dragocevic. Dragocevic. Sorry.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on the on Sakal meeting the kelp demon scene? Yes, Stuart, I just said making the kelp demon. I just said that out loud in all seriousness.
Nothing really to say, no.
Yeah, that's good. And then
that's good.
Well,
shut up.
But
we
then
got super chats. You want to read the super chats?
Yeah. You know what, Stuart? You're really good at that, and you make it seem so easy, and it isn't easy. I've done it before. You should do it. I think they want to hear you. I think they want to hear your voice because you're the captain, and I'm just the editor.
Drago Savage. Anyway, there you go. Hopefully I said it right. Kevin Scott, 76, $5. Posted in Star Trek Facebook group about the problem with negative space around turbolifts. 430 responses so far, mostly agreeing it's bogus. Yes. 1,000% yes. Makes no sense.
It's an absurd season 1 stupid moment in a rather good season 3 episode.
Yeah, if they just wouldn't have showed it again, people might have forgotten about it.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, they quadrupled down on it by the length of time and the amount of detail and different angles they showed of it.
You know what was happening, Stuart? It was a situation where you're at a restaurant, right? An okay restaurant, pretty good. And you're eating a pasta dish. And you're quite enjoying the pasta dish. And you're eating the sauce and the meatballs. And suddenly they stab you in the chest with a little knife. And you're like, what? The fuck is this? And they say, you take it. You take it. They start twisting the knife and you start bleeding. Then they pull the knife out. And they say, keep eating. And you're like, I mean, oh, this has gone. This has hurt me. You know? It's that level of dramatic.
Yeah. I think it's probably, I don't know if it's that bad. But anyway. FleetPaw Swiftback, $2. We hit 400 likes. Nice.
Yes.
And we do 450. Hashtag make FleetPaw pay. Well, see, 420. We're 30 away from Sam's 450 request. We're quite far away from my $1 million.
I mean, we're 9.975 million, 100,000 away. But hey, we're getting close. Every dollar helps.
Ooh, my buddy Glimg, his name is Brad. Hi, Brad. $5. Sorry if this was discussed previously, but thoughts on 32nd century Starfleet uniforms. I thought they were okay, but feel kind of bland, to be honest. We have an entire video coming out about the uniforms, probably a few, actually. They are kind of bland gray, militaristic, almost, and they don't match the interior of the ship at all. They weren't designed... Anyway, they're okay. They're a little bit too harsh, I think.
I think we can go as far as say they're pretty good. I think they're better than okay.
They do look better on Mary Wiseman, I gotta say.
Much better, yeah. And Sonequa, she has a certain flair.
Yep.
It's weird. Yep. They're both more plain and more Star Trek. It's a weird dichotomy. It really is.
It's the difference between, seriously, season 1 and 2 TNG going to season 3. They looked pretty much identical, but just the two-piece made a big difference, you know?
And it tells you that as a show, they're, letting go of the past, the Brian Fuller shit.
Kill it if you have to.
Because remember, no more tricorders, phasers, communicators, costumes, Klingons, villains, allies, Federation,
shuttles. Haven't seen Discovery Shuttle in a while, thank God.
All been abandoned. The last to go is the interior set design. And the ship itself, remember? All that's left is the interior sets, which they hopefully have spent the summer rebuilding and repainting. And then it would be a real season 4. Yeah.
MC puts in $5. Do you see a design refit for the Federation with the rejoining of member worlds and a renewed focus on exploration over combat and transport?
Oh, that's fun.
Probably. I like the idea of renewed focus on exploration and combat over combat, because he did mention, we don't exactly do 5-year missions anymore. We don't have that luxury of the exploration, because literally they were fighting to survive for the last 120 years.
Putting out fires.
Pick up the pieces. Yeah, pick up the pieces and put out the fires. So,
what I would say, I like that a lot, because what would be a great moment is how season 2 was all about the D7s. Look, D7s. So if part of the new, like you said, cut to a year later, and Burnham's a captain of Discovery, so he's a captain of another ship, whatever, and they say, part of the new member worlds, we've all said a symbol of the new Federation is a new ship. And it's a spore jump ship. It looks great. It's very future, but very classic. And then maybe even Sarah gets captain of that, or second in command of that, and that could be really nice and give us a nice chunky hero ship to enjoy. And maybe even Stuart, how amazing if they christen it the Enterprise.
No,
because they say they haven't had an Enterprise in service for 150 years for different reasons.
Okay.
And they finally commissioned it as a symbol of new hope. The Enterprise always stood for peace, and they commissioned the Enterprise V. And
Captain Saru.
Well, second in command Saru, more I'd be fine with that. But wouldn't that be a symbolic thing? Like, that would be fan servicey, but also, like, logical. Like,
but then Burnham would have to be captain of the Enterprise because she's the best ever. So she'd have to be captain of the flagship.
No. Still, we know she's a very important dilithium delivery driver.
Yes.
That's her role, and that's fine.
The Federation Dilithium Delivery. What did you call it earlier? FDP.
No, it was
or something.
It was UPS. It was Discovery. Oh, I don't know. It was a fun. It'll be in another episode. We've said it in an episode. Watch it. It was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. Gareth Rooney, €5. I think it would have been a nice touch if one of them received the Pike Medal of Valor. No. Yeah, like something like that would have been a nice reference for sure. But then have them once it's pronounced, once it's like said, the Pike Medal of Valor. They kind of look at each other like,
"Oh yeah.
Pike. We knew Pike. What the hell?"
That would have been cute. Oh, and actually, you know what it could have been? It could have been a hologram of Pike delivering it, because they have that technology.
Ooh.
And then you have Anson back for one scene. And he's wearing the proper TOS as like a symbol of he'll be in the season 1 of Strange New Worlds in Foley. That would have been a bit full on, but that would have been kind of cute, actually. Although Timothy Moore says Saru has not come back. That's why he appeared as Doug Jones last 2 episodes. Nope, he shaved his head and confirmed season 4. Michelle Paradise said we're not letting go of him.
Yep.
They do lie, sure.
Yep.
But
and that was a wig.
Yeah,
he was wearing. He was bald at the time. Yes,
which I think good choice. Don't make him bald. No offense to him. I think he looked good with the weird hair because it meant he didn't like Doug Jones either. He kind of anyway. So no, he is confirmed come back.
Andrew K, $2. It's kind of funny to see a Vulcan with blue hair. Yeah,
look good. I thought pulled off the outfit really well. Yeah. So this scene is exposition the scene.
Well, we have 3 super chats left. What are you doing? James McGill, $2.
Hi, James.
Wish the gray of futuristic uniforms was a tad darker. I totally agree. I think more of a darker gray would look a little bit better, but it is what it is, you know. Daniel Pagino, $5. No comment, but thank you so much, Daniel. And Glimg again, Brad puts in $2. Will Starfleet reopen the Academy on Earth? Ooh, because the Academy is still there. The buildings are still there. That big tree is still there. I don't know. It'll be interesting we've got to find out if Earth rejoins. We know that Trill has the Vulcan or Navarre is in the talks to do that. So that'll be a season 4 thing for sure. But where is Starfleet Academy? Where do they learn? Where do they teach now?
I think there's a really distinct choice to not include Earth as a comeback to the fold. I think that'll be a season 4 arc. So no, but that might be like a end of season 4 reunion. We had to earn Earth back, which is weird because it was the original founder. But I thought that was very specific and actually really interesting to not do that. Yeah.
All right, so now we can talk about your exposition scene.
Although I liked seeing the edge of the Hollow. Although it's unclear if he actually is in the same room as his mum dying the entire episode or not, because space and the holodeck is relative.
Yeah.
But because he does go out and it looks like the same room. But I don't know if I buy that. I'm unconvinced. But also, you can imagine that would be like the most secure room in the base, in the ship, on purpose.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Just, I don't know.
Well, we find out here, too, that the normal chromosome separation is disrupted, or was disrupted in utero. This is what he suspects. We can't confirm it without a scan. But so the genes adapted to their environment. And since this environment has massive concentrations of lithium, that's why the burn happened, because of the resonance frequency. Now, when Gray goes out to take a look out the window, is it just me, or does it look like there's another ship there, like a ring ship? There's like a ring at the pump point. While you're finding that, this is where Adira's like, doesn't dilithium have a subspace component? And that explains why the burn happened, because it created a resonance within this huge mass of dilithium, which traveled through subspace and nullified all dilithium. So, yeah, but as Gray is coming back in, you can see out the window, there's something that looks like a part of a saucer or a ring. Do you think it's a natural thing? Because it doesn't look like it.
I mean, the whole planet's weird. Honestly, it's a dilithium planet. I don't think.
Or do you think it's
another
part of their ship, maybe?
I was disappointed by the ship because it was clearly just that picture we saw on the monitor of just the
3 spires.
I mean, to be fair, it does look Bauuian.
That's a new word. That's good.
So I'll give them credit. Like they did, but it was boring. But I mean, although I give them credit, the visual of Grey going out was great. That said, I like the logic of they're not really there and therefore they can't be radiated. I wish they didn't go past the hollow, because if that's the edge of the hollow, you'd assume that'd be where it's starting to disconnect, and he's also hollow. I wish there was like a moment of zzz. I mean,
I wish, like, you saw him going through it.
It was getting close, yeah.
And before the end, he said, or before he went through it, he said the radiation won't affect me. I expected him to go through and start like suffering from the radiation, like something's happening to him. But we didn't get that. But I would have liked to see the part of him like start to drift away before he turned around.
Yeah, the holographic matrix, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it was happening, but it should have been more. But small note. But yeah, the expression is a bit heavy-handed here, especially considering we already had this dialogue with Kolber, and like I know you weren't as convinced. I was convinced, like, he's the Doctor, it's face value, fine. So it felt a little bit redundant saying the same. It was more detailed, sure. It felt a little bit like, just so you guys are fully sure, we'll re-explain it fully.
Yes, because even Adira says, do you think the burn will happen again? And Kolber says, if we can get him away from all this dilithium, I don't think it'll be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or almost feels like a reshoot to kind of make sure everyone's clear. It wasn't, but it kind of feels like we need to add something to make sure everyone's...
It's to reiterate for the audience, because it wasn't really clearly explained in the last episode, and they need to self-contain it within this one.
Although he has no more information, just be clear. He hasn't scanned anybody, so he's still the exact same theory.
Aeon puts in $5.
Thank you.
Didn't the Federation have other dilithium resources before the burn, or is this the Dune situation now? I'm sure they had other sources. Not all dilithium was destroyed. They did have some. We know that the Emerald Chain had more. Where the Emerald Chain was getting it, we don't know, but they were definitely supplied better than the Federation was. Well,
remember, even Zahil said there's 3 Federation ships in range on another quadrant. They were using warp, so it's more a case of they had a lot less. But I'm sure there was shielding. I mean, it's all variables, isn't it? So, if you have 1,000 pieces of lithium and it's fine. And I'm sure they also found more throughout, just not a lot.
Yeah. And Jerry puts in $2. Grey is a hollow, right? How did Grey go outside? Grey did not go outside. Grey went to the very edge of the holographic matrix where it was kind of falling apart and looked through it. So he didn't go outside of it. So.
But it is weird to have a hollow person go through a hollow destabilization bit.
Yes,
but
not a good idea.
But the entire room is a holodeck, therefore they can also exist outside of it. But it was fine, just a little bit more would have been good. Although a nice idea that the not real person in any form can go through. But it's weird to think that the data is being beamed from inside Adira into the computer and being presented in real time. Bit weird. We'll get into that. But quite a
we got another super chat. Why do you not respect the super chats, my friend?
I do. Oh.
It's fine. Fake Valentina throws in £5.
Thank you.
Do you think they will promote Saru to the rank of Admiral to be the middleman between the CNC and Burnham in season 4? Not to the rank of Admiral. I do like him as a middleman, though, as a connective tissue between Discovery and Vance. But I would prefer that somebody from Vance's team be on Discovery. I think they need somebody from the future as the first officer on Discovery. That would be a big improvement, in my opinion. So, there you go.
He is nowhere qualified to be an admiral.
No,
for goodness' sake.
Barely a captain.
Yeah,
he just got his captaincy like literally a second ago.
Yeah.
So
no. I mean, maybe it's like a ceremonial, if they need to, but he hasn't earned it in any stretch of the imagination. And there's no offense to him. He just hasn't. So that's fine.
Yeah. But then Call goes looking for the Elder. The Elder's gone because the program is degrading pretty quickly.
It's quite sad, actually. I like the acting here. It's like, oh, man. That sucks.
Then we get everybody back on Discovery trying to get to the nacelles. Why can't the nacelles be closer? And they have to push Oa on Washicum forward because she can hold her breath longer. Everybody else passes out essentially in the corridor. I mean, it's all right, but why do they only have one breather? You think each deck would have multiple things for this situation in case there's a hull breach, Anyway, whatever.
Yeah. On Zakar though, gentle scene, fine, nice. It goes at a good pace. Not much to say. Yeah, it's an awkward set of scenes because when you have so many people and so little lines, you realize they're all just kind of walking it together, and you would think they'd try alternate plans maybe, because if they're all walking, because as they walk into places with no oxygen, they're all using the oxygen more. If only one person walked the same route, they'd be able to survive long because there'd be more oxygen. So they're actually actively hurting their chances by doing this. Because also breathing CO2, like it's not a good plan. I know there's more people to try and do it, but you should just send Oa, and they all do Plan B. But they have to give them screen time. They should have picked like 3 of them or 2 of them. I think would have been much stronger. Like Tilly and Oa and no one else. Give them some real scenes. It's fine, but it's not like good stuff. And yeah, it's embarrassing they don't pick spacesuits or have more on breather. It doesn't make any sense at all. But you don't think about it. And also I think Washicum's acting is a bit wrong. Just because you can hold your breath for 10 minutes doesn't mean you are not. Doesn't mean you're fine when everyone else is dying around you.
I totally thought the same thing. You literally have to hold your breath for 10 minutes. It doesn't mean you use oxygen differently necessarily. I know what you mean.
It feels as if you're having a scene where you're pretending you're in space and all the actors are going, and one person's just doing this. It's just like it doesn't.
I grew up in space. It's fine.
Yeah, it didn't play well. She had to like either hold her breath or be still like. Yeah. It was wrongly directed. Sorry, guys, didn't make sense.
Yeah. They should have killed Dentner to save oxygen. Threefold path, love it. Fake Valentina throws in 2 pounds. But what role Saru have when he came back then? He could be your first officer. He could be, who knows? He could get his own ship, a future ship. Yeah. Who knows?
I think, either get his own ship or be an advisor or be a diplomat, since he's lived a very unique life.
Yeah.
I mean, they explicitly say he's staying till the end of the talks, implying he's involved in the talks in some small way. Not really, but that's a weird connection. Yeah, I could see him being a diplomat. Could be an interesting liaison. Doesn't need to be could still be a captain, But remember, they've got more and more ships, obviously, as they get the dilithium. I could see next year them having like 500 ships.
Yeah, plus I wonder how many ships have been mothballed because they were just not set up for the new dilithium that, the small amounts that could be used for the new ships or something. Like they might have a fleet stored in different areas of ships that you just can't use, and now they can. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But now it's time to break into the #planet Turbolift, and she asked for 2 minutes. He says, "How about 15 seconds?" And then he starts saying, "Hurry up." She's like, "Hasn't even been 15 seconds." I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, they get into the Turbolift.
I did like the line, 2 minutes, shouldn't take 2 minutes. I actually laughed out loud. That was nice.
Yeah.
For what little dialogue you can give during an action moment, that I thought hit the beat. But this is when the episode obviously falls apart. It's been pretty good up to this point.
Yeah.
Like, it's been not bad. And even the idea of hiding above the Turbo classic, although having that many villains suddenly appear out of nowhere is very weird. It's like, but you didn't have that many people on the ship, obviously. Why did you suddenly have like 9 in one corridor? Didn't quite work. Didn't quite feel as good. What?
Oh, I'm hitting next for next picture, and as it keeps panning out, I just keep going, "Oh, good God, they did this."
Okay.
It looks like a cityscape from a show like Blade Runner or a movie like Blade Runner. It doesn't look like the inside of a ship.
You know what? I'm gonna challenge our audience right now. Everybody that hates the Turbolifts, $1 super chat.
Oh God. No.
Lowest amount. Show us how much you hate it. Because that'd be an interesting way of like, how many people? No, seriously, how many people hate it that much to say F this with a $1? Because that's, I mean, it's nothing. I just want to see
We'll
like
make our $1 million in a second.
Yeah,
So
because this scene is definitely, and it's also filled with shit. It's like, this is the future. Have you seen the Starfleet command? It's beautiful, clean, simple, replica matter. What is all this fuck and shit and garbage? And you can see the scale of the turbolift. This is a massive. Is this what's behind the corridors? These pipe shits?
Well,
this thing's a refitted goddamn ship. The fuck?
it's garbage. It really is. Like I said, it looks like a cityscape. It looks like neon signs from, and
looks like
it looks like
Cyberpunk.
a Fifth Element, something like that, right?
It's horrifying.
Threefold path. Maybe he puts in £5. Thank you. Maybe he'll be a liaison to Navarre, given the relationship he had with the Vulcan president. Ooh, yeah. Because at the end they say Navarre is thinking of rejoining, but then they also go on to say after this next bit of negotiations, Saru's taking the kid back to his planet, back to Kaminar. So, holy shit! Look at oh my god. All right. So here's everybody that hates.
Like I said, it's a good way of showing the legitimate hate. $1 hate for turbolifts. Show support, guys.
It'll never stop. We're not going to finish the live.
That's okay. It's fast. It's fine.
Fleet Paw Swiftback, John Woke, Andrew K, Zarkum, Kazar 831, Vincent Vision, John Donaldson, Eugene, Double Guitars, Marco Verdich,
The death of the turbolift system.
Aeon, Metallica Fan 1442, Bramley Organics, Stephen W. Fathry throws in $2. F this with $2. Mark Lawrence $2.69. Not a fan of those turbolifts. Dreamer out there $1. Christopher Beatty $1. Adrian, John McHugh, Area, Mike Plant, Crassus, Christian Montgomery.
Thank you, Zram. And I love Andromeda has a great comment. Someone be a hero and donate the $380 for the rest of us. That's a great comment. Then it can be a unified hate. Although
Robbie Ansley $2 total crap. Yeah.
Although, and that is a great sign of hate. But kind of a brief thing in the chat. We've got 376 people. Brilliant. Could you put in the chat if you were genuinely bothered by this? If you weren't bothered, say not bothered, because obviously we are the Star Trek tech guys, so we're obviously going to like it more.
Not bothered, hate, or it's fine.
Well, no, I just want bothered.
You don't dislike this. You hate this.
Okay.
And by the way, guys, 9 more likes to 450 likes. Yes. Hit that like button. There's 9 people out there that haven't. Please consider doing that.
But put not bothered if you generally don't care. Like, I'm interested if you don't care. There's some things we don't necessarily have a fuss about. Also, we're here. Let us know. I'm going to go to the toilet briefly because I need to, and I'll come back and see lots of...
I'll read the $1 super chats while you're gone. Okay. Space Thing, $2. She is a queen. Absolutely. Eric Spenglinger. Ryan K. SKO Media Group. Brian Woodard puts in $2. This sucks so much. I sent my first super chat. Ooh, thank you very much, Brian. Grom Beetle puts in £1 11 or €1 11. Thank you. Michael Kirst €1. All right, so let's see. Oh, goodness gracious me, guys. Bothered, not bothered. I hate, despise, turned off, hate, hated, bothered, bothered, hate, slightly bothered, hate, 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 not bothered, hate, bothered, hate, bothered, worse than Star Trek V Turbo Machine, bothered, hatred of 1,000 suns, hate, I hated this, not bothered, very logical, hate and bothered, extremely bothered, only by the physics, this was pointless, TARDIS tech.
All right.
Aeon throws in $5.
Does everyone like it?
I would love Okuda's thoughts on that scene. No, you wouldn't. Tangerine Star 26, $1. DPS report $2. Is that Free Cloud on Disco? Yes, it is. Exactly. Timothy Moore $2. Looks like a draw of loose nuts and bolts. Because people hated it, Samuel.
Because it would be different if it was like smooth, and like you said, replicable matter. Like, it'd be different if it was not filled with garbage, you know? If it was just, the hull is clearly open, you know? And, like, rooms appeared and disappeared as you needed them. That would be one thing.
Yeah.
But there's no thought here. You know.
Michael Collane puts in $8 Australian and
Thank
says
you.
I, with a TARDIS picture as his avatar. That's funny.
Mm.
Pillowy Giant 69. Still love that name. £1. Thank you so much. All right, so yeah, and okay, so they open up the other door. They get out. That's their plan B. Whatever. She starts shooting them from the top, and then for some reason she decides to step on the broken glass or transparent aluminum and falls through. There's a lot of room up there. Why are you stepping on the broken glass you just shot through?
It's also really awkward CG, non-CG. Like, clearly they like moved her foot further. I think it's trying to show she's not infallible. But
good job.
Yeah, I just think the entire premise of the scene doesn't make sense because they've successfully evaded them. Why are you revealing yourselves? You've gained a 1 second advantage, and if you note, Book shoots out of the Turbolift, shoots one person. That's not a net gain.
Don't these weapons have wide beam? Like, come on. We've talked about that before with like even the Siege of AR 11.
Yeah.
AR, whatever the fuck.
116.
Just use wide beam. Like.
Yeah. But it's just a bad plan because they're gonna get shot at, and they do get shot at, and it's only because they're the heroes that don't get hit. They should be getting hit. They should have like you said, with Jeffrey's tube, just started crawling up with a Turbolift shaft to get to a Jeffrey's tube. Done. This entire nothing from here until Osiris' death works. It's a completely flawed segment, and it's shocking when everything else is so good. It's shocking. I'm shocked.
George Mangrum, $5. The Turbolift was the best thing that ever happened to Trekyards. Money. Yeah. Alex MG1, €2. Remember the ship from Enterprise, future tense? Yes, but that was a future ship. This sure has been refitted, but this was seen in season 1 of Discovery, which is pre-TOS. So it doesn't make sense. That is not an excuse for this. This is not a reason that this should exist.
And not just that, but it was retconned into the Enterprise, which means that they not only understood what they were doing, but chose to actively fuck up visual canon by doing it. So it would be fine. It'd be dumb, but it'd be make more sense if this was the first time we're seeing it. It is not. They are doubling down once again.
They're quadrupling down.
They are committing in all of the many ways.
Kyle Wong, £5. So the designer thought this makes sense. And Kyle Wong puts another £5. The show CGI designer. Yeah.
And
Dreamer out.
What's sad though, if the sequence was good, it'd be at least better. As in the flying through the Turbolifts. It wasn't even a good looking scene. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
It wasn't even.
I know
cool.
what you mean. And the other thing is, you see Turbolifts flying, buzzing around everywhere. There's no one on the ship. The bridge crew is knocked unconscious in a hallway. The regulators, there's a few of them in a few spots. You can't tell me all those Turbolifts that are moving back and forth have regulators in them. Is the ship just deciding to randomly send Turbolifts places? It's dumb. It's beyond stupid.
I didn't even think of that until you said that in our review, and rewatching it, it's also embarrassing. They just want movement for movement's sake, but you're right. They don't move by themselves. It's like elevators in a skyscraper is just going up and down when they feel like it. All throughout the night when it's empty. It's daft, and it doesn't work.
We got a lot of super chats here, so let's get to those. Dreamer out there, $5. Expanse has biometric weapons. Only authorized users can use them. Why does an Emerald Chain have this 1,000 years from now? That's a very good question. Because they want to wear gloves and look cool.
Why? Because then Burnham and Book wouldn't be able to steal the guns.
They just do some kind of fuckery with them with the badge she stole, scan it over, and reprogram something.
Stuart, this ain't no Judge Dredd. They had enough.
I am the law.
I am the law.
Connor O'Callaghan. Wow, £50. Thank you so. That is amazing. Hey guys, great work with your show. Keep it up. Bitcoin doing well, so I'm giving you some of my gains. Why does the new Turbolift system shrink people? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the people get in, they shrink, a la Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, so that the Turbolifts take up very little room in the ship because they're just little. It's like the shrunken runabout. PS9. That would save a lot of room in the ship, but still look like there's lots of room.
Nice.
Space Thing puts in $5. The annoying thing is that Turbolifts would have worked as just a 32nd century tech thing. Enterprise had it, but seasons 1 and 2 showed it looking the same. Absolutely. If this had been introduced now as a thing, we'd be like, okay, that's weird. That's weird refit tech, but cool, whatever. Fine.
And it's weird because, again, once you'd said it in our earlier review, there is replicable matter boxes.
Making the gates. Yeah.
But only the one in front of Burnham. All the other ones just have ones without being used. It's explicitly showing that bake them as they go, except when they're not, which means that's not how they work, so go F yourself. Oi, oi, oi.
Luke Celeste puts in $10 with all that inner space. That is why they will deliver dilithium next season. Yes, they could load this thing up with truckloads of dilithium.
God, I just went to a screen cap. It just looks like a skyscraper. The hell is what is this? Because it's not even like there's like a sense of deck layout where the turbo shafts are on a deck. They're just hovering in midair.
Yeah, it's
like, why are you hovering in midair? You've got a deck layout and they follow a deck layout. What's wrong with you? What? And what are all these blue lights? They're not all. TX2069
$5. It made no sense, but reminded me of when Bashir and O'Brien were tiny and tried to fix the isolinear chip, which was the cool set they made. Hated this. Yes, that was a cool episode, but this is dumb. Alex MG1 €2. Wait, this was in season 1? Okay, I'm done. It was in season 1 and season 2, and they put it on the Enterprise, on Pike's Enterprise. The same thing with the turbolift shafts. So,
Stuart, they're everywhere.
They are. Glimgy puts in $2. Since when did turbolifts move sideways? Turbolifts have always moved sideways.
That's a weird comment.
It is, and it's for my friend Brad, so I want to smack him. So if you see the saucer from the top, you'll see turbolift shafts that do this. So the turbolift will go down to your deck and across over to your section. Like they do move vertically and horizontally and around. But this is just dumb.
And just because they don't want to put salt on the wound, here's an MSD of the ship showing its exact deck layout. Now... And now
there is a big empty space in front of the turbolift, or in front of the shuttle bay.
Well, in front of the deflector and the shuttle bay, which
that's the sport chamber.
Well, yeah. So we can see that the shuttle bay is 5 decks tall, but this is only 3 decks tall. And if you look at the chasm, that's at least 7 decks, 6, 7.
Well, shuttle bay is not 5 decks from the inside of the shuttle bay.
No, it isn't. Well, no, it isn't. No, it isn't.
It's 3, maybe.
Yeah, you're right. And so you can see this is although I appreciate the hull is now differently shaped. Oh no, it isn't. It isn't. The MSD's wrong. It's got the deflector from season 1. They didn't even bother updating the MSD.
That's because it's the Orion operating system. Maybe it's misunderstanding the information.
Guys, you changed your ship. You've had 6 episodes of that. Change the fucking graphics. It's not hard. What's wrong with you guys? And clearly the ship isn't big enough for this. There's no space. You can see the turbolift shafts. They're specific. It's a line down, a line this way. Like
we're making this discussion longer than the fight was, and the fight was too long.
And then she goes to the computer core. And
hold on, we got super chats to get to. We got a lot to get to, so let's get to those.
Okay.
Jerry, $2. Dots are in the other turbolifts. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
John Clambo, €2.
Sorry.
This show is scrap as hell. She falls 50 meters. Yeah, onto a falling turbolift.
How Attack of the Clones was that? I've got a plan. It's called Suicide Job. Oh, good, there's something here. Burnham, there's no turbolifts moving. No one's in the ship. Why? Like, you know your ship is at least 44 floors tall. You know you're gonna die when you fall.
If they when she got into the turbolift, said I can't really do much. We gotta go to Plan B, but I'm gonna cause some chaos. Does it and all of a sudden you see a bunch of turbolifts just start moving.
Like she shorts out the system. That's nice. That's nice. Like that.
All right. Fleetpaw Swiftback, $2. 466 likes. Can we do 500? Hashtag make Fleetpaw pay. Yes. 475. We hit Samuel's 450. Hit the like button, guys. Let's try to get to 500 now. Eugene, 100 rubles. TARDIS and Monster Inc. Factory had a baby. That's perfect. Christian Montgomery, $2. Why is atmosphere and gravity outside turbolifts? Why is atmosphere and gravity outside turbo? Because it's still inside the ship.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tiburon, $5. Video idea: dumb action set pieces of Trek, like Star Trek 5 shaft, Nemesis pit, etc., and compare this to see how much worse it is. Perfect idea for a video.
And if you recall, that Enterprise E Nemesis pit was also on like deck 24.
Yes, which is the bottom of the ship.
So basically, Nemesis, it started a lot of these problems. Actually, even that warp end with the fairy dust, and I mean, guys, and we would have bitched back then about that. This is not cherry picking. This is it's wrong. You know. Yep. Although DX is a good point. This is why they have to share rooms. They devote 75% of their space to the turbo hangers. And I like that, turbo hanger, not turbo.
That's great.
That's good.
That's great.
It's a very concise comment. I like it.
Timothy Moore, $5.
Thank
All
you.
that programmable matter is bigger on the inside than the outside. Ervik Sonder, $2. Do turbolifts now have genuine people personality?
Yes.
Fleetpaw Swiftback, $2. They've broken Trekyards. No. LOL. No, nothing can break us.
Although I think Mr. Jericho has a good point. That scene did need some Discovery shuttles flying around.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. What the hell? Why aren't they there?
And then you could have had Book and Zara jump onto Discovery shuttles, which are not piloted, obviously, and they could be fighting as they're spinning.
They could have a fist fight like Spock and Khan do in Into Darkness.
But between two shuttles, which then bump each other and they punch. Yeah, perfect.
Who's flying the shuttles? Oh, it doesn't matter.
No, no one is. They're just flying.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
Brian Woodard, $2. Subspace turbolift domain. All Federation lifts pass through. Yes. You can go anywhere to any ship, anytime, any place. Kyle Wong, £5. Lifts run on the PIM particle. Yep.
The PIM turbolift.
Aeon, $5. This ship was built around the turbolifts. Yes, it was. James McGill, $2. Discovery turbolifts equals Doctor Who TARDIS. Sarcastic Vulcan salute.
And what's funny is that clearly the ship is hollow. I mean, second hell, clearly. So the spore technology didn't need any space, because there's no technology in the hull. So the spore drive didn't need anything. Why is the ship so big then? But then we do get to the computer core, which kind of reminds me of the Death Star 2 interior. It's okay. Actually, no, you know what? It has a regular 1 vibe. If you look at my enhanced picture, it kind of looks like that. And again, in a massive chasm. Massive chasm, and also floating. So turbolift has to be floating together. There's no rail, there's no pad, no anything. And Stuart, I didn't even think about this, but explain your slight problem with what and why this is where.
Because every MSD and any Star Trek ship ever, the computer core is always in the exact same place.
Including the Discovery one. It's actually there.
Yes, including the Discovery one. It is in the very center of the saucer, about a deck or two underneath the bridge. There's about 4 or 5 decks that are the computer core. There's a big in every MSD. So this is clearly not in the center of the saucer, which I'm sure John Eves designed the saucer to have the core in the center, because you got that big ball with the bridge on top. Unless this is just the refitted computer core. Again, see, because it's refitted with future tech, everybody's going to say, well, remember that future ship from Enterprise? No. And this is white. The whole building is white. It looks like a new edition. This does look like the refit edition for the computer core, which, fine, whatever. It's not where it should be in the saucer. That's fine. But...
And if she did go into the saucer, which is not explicitly said she hasn't, then A, that ride should take 20 to 30 minutes, in which case her crew are dead, because they're going to die in 30 minutes, because the ship's huge. But it does stand out too much. This is another thing that they should have just repainted the entire ship. And also gives me massive Galaxy Quest vibes with their computer core at the end of the episode, where they, it's just really not a bad set. Oh, but it's quite generic. And even the way it's played, she comes out, one guard attacks her out of nowhere, and then Osara comes in, misses, even though she's trained this weapon, misses every time. Very, very poor. Even though there's one guard in the corner, decides not to come out until it's time to get murdered. Very, very poor. And they start to have a relatively boring hand-to-hand fight.
Okay, pause.
Okie dokie.
We got 2 super chats and a PayPal, so let's get to those. Okay. PayPal is from Robert Hayes.
Thank you.
Sends $5, so thank you. Some say Zara is still falling down that chasm and that Tuvok witnesses it over and over. Will he return as Zera the White? I feel sorry for Gene. He will have to go to the very bottom and clean that mess up. Yes, poor Gene, scooping up the guts. Okay. Eugene, 100 rubles. There are no Discovery shuttles because all of them are in Picard. Yeah, they transferred them all to Picard. Lo Wang, 35. Great name. Puts in 50 krona by the looks of it. Maybe the Turbolift space is big to avoid the huge gridlock if most of the crew has the Turbolift at the same time in an emergency, multiple lanes. I'm not even going to grace that with a comment. Just a look. Really? Polymetronic, 10 euros. Looks like they reused some visual effects from the 2012 Total Recall movie with the elevator scenes. As an engineer, I just hate the waste of space. Even with special geometry, it should be used efficiently. I agree.
Yeah, you don't understand anything about anything.
Yeah. Yeah, great fight between the two of these ladies.
I disagree. I think it's okay at best.
No, I was being sarcastic.
Oh, I agree. It's sarcastically good.
But she does, I gotta say, Janet Kidder looks a lot like Margot Kidder here, and it's great. She looks like Lois Lane, painted green. And even the scene where Burnham gets sucked into the computer reminded me of Superman 3. That scary, freaky scene where the sister gets sucked in to the computer and comes out as a robot, which scared a lot of kids.
Yeah. I watched that. I was not happy with that scene when I was young.
It had that exact same feeling to it. And I think that might have been a little homage because she is related to the original Lois Lane. Lois Lane wasn't in that scene in the Superman movie, but I think it might be a little nod there. So kudos for that. But anyway.
And I think that the book fight is also somewhat dull, and it's sad for the actor who is quite good. But it's like if a fully okay guy on full adrenaline can't take out a generic villain and a guy with one arm.
An old bad guy with one arm, yeah.
Like, it goes on too long. And I said to you earlier, it would have been 1,000 times better if they'd also gone to the computer core and it had been 2v2. Our two heroes, our two villains. And they have a fight. Big, nice, strong fight. And then, like, swapped who they're fighting. Because they each have a reason to hate each other. You know, Burnham hates him for hating Tilly, and he hates Asara for, you know. So that would have been much better than Sable's bullshit CGI stuff. That would have been a lot better because it's just a shitty, dull, non-fight. But then it cuts to an SL, and I think instantly it's like, ooh, much more interesting.
Yeah, Captain Chili Bina though throws in $5.
Of course he does.
The programmable matter wall was very Stargate replicator wall enveloping someone. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Which you get now, Stuart.
Yeah. Jonathan Erdman, $5.
Hi, Jonathan.
Same here about the Superman 3 scene. The JJ Turbo shafts, engineering. Damn it, Disco. Just damn it.
Yes.
Yeah, but she runs out of oxygen, and we get the nice look down the nacelle, which we're going to have a video talking about. They did a good job with that.
They did.
Yay for them.
It is a remarkable contrast in fucking garbage, really accurate.
Yeah.
It's like, what? But
pushed right up against each other. Yeah.
But this is now it starts to turn. The tides turn a little bit at this point, you know?
Yeah.
And well done, her. Good job. You did a good job.
Yes. And yeah. The conclusion to the fights happen, whatever. Who cares?
Oh, robot. The dot comes in.
Owa. Yeah. Owa almost doesn't make it out. I thought she was going to die. I literally thought she was going to die. Which would have been fine. It would have been impactful. It would have been good because she's a liked character.
Although she's our favourite bridge officer because we actually know the lady. So that would have been sad for us personally, but good.
But the dot droid comes in and saves her. Or we're not sure that she gets saved, but you know.
Although this is played later as an important moment, but we know multiple dots have the sphere data, so one individual doesn't mean very much. So they haven't set up the rules to then have the payoff properly this week, but it's so packed that of course some stuff was going to get dropped and everything with the dots was. But then we get the explosion. That looks more like the warp tunnel, and in fact there's no longer any ships behind them. The Viridian gone and the Starfleet ships are gone.
Yeah, it's a real disconnect here because they come spiraling out of warp. You don't see the Viridian drop out of warp. The Viridian should be right behind them. And you don't see the rest of the fleet drop out of warp because that's the whole point, is to buy time for to get the fleet to catch up. You know.
I could maybe buy the Discoveries faster than the Viridian because it's smaller.
Oh, I could buy that too with the new updated nacelles. Sure.
And maybe the Viridian is like having a firefight with them in the back. But boy,
I could buy that too.
That's me reaching places they have not in. They just didn't want to render it. That's all. Because there's a lot of stuff to render. But I do quite like the explosion and the way it's like you said, Replica Man is trying to get it, but also like a fume comes out, like petrol spilling. I thought that was quite cool. And actually, I believe it actually hits the rim of warp or something. I don't know. Although you get some pretty clean shots at the top. And actually, the way the neck looks. That's a very, very clean shot of the ship. Huh.
Yeah. Well, they drop out of war, and you see the nacelle doing this wobble thing. And then we get Osira yelling, get the Viridian to take Discovery in. And then just out of nowhere, you see Enterprise NX-01 going into the India aquatic cruiser.
I thought I had a stroke there for a second.
It's the same scene.
Yeah, and what's also awkward, hold on, is that they cut from Osira, and then it cuts to an edit of someone going, for about 2 frames, and it cuts to the spaceship. But it's not the same clip. So they've actually edited out some wrong frames, and then it cuts to a space thing, and it's a massive disconnect. It stands out as an offensively bad edit. Because like I said, in reality, it should have been warps out, battle, comes in. Could have been awesome. Could have been cool. And it's just like, oh, what? No? What? Huh? Huh? What? Who? Huh? And it's just a bad edit.
Moving on.
Bad.
God damn. All right, Eric Spenlinger, $7. Why was Burnham pushed into the wall? How did she emerge? Willpower? Yes, she powered herself back out. And it was even in her lungs because she had to spit it out. The little programmable matter things. Space Thing, $5. Osira really should have lived and been tried for her crimes. Would have fit perfectly with Vance's speech about healing the present through justice. Yeah, they're not making a deal with the Emerald Chain now. Now they're wiping them out because we have dilithium, bitches. And Osira was the only one that knew about the dilithium from the Emerald Chain. So, Eugene, 250 rubles. What the ever-living hell was that wall thing? 30th century Ministry of Magic moved the veil from Death Chamber to Discovery. I just assumed it was a reprogrammable matter computer core. So I had no issue with that part, actually. I thought that was actually one of the cool parts of the fight. The one thing I did have an issue with was the book fight where he's on his stomach, half out of the Turbolift, and the guy decides to flip him over and taunt him by saying, who do you think will make a bigger splat down there? You or your fat cat? She's a queen. I just thought that was remarkably stupid. The guy falling, hitting a Turbolift that's on its way up. That's not how these work, these Turbolifts.
Yeah,
how they should work.
Falling down a chasm.
Looks like he's falling onto a motherboard. Looks like they shrunken her in a computer.
I mean, what is this shit? Why is this in a secondary hull? What is this?
You need to do a whole video just ranting about.
Well, we're going to, and it's going to be really irritating because it's irritating. And you know what? Looks like a Borg ship. I'll be honest. If you color graded the screen to blue to green, it'd be Borg ship.
And that falls in line perfectly with the last sentence. She's a queen. A Borg queen.
Alice Krieg, motherfucker.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah,
let me get the suck.
Hold on, but it was a bad fight, like bending the Turbolift, and it was an unsatisfying. And also, I didn't like in the Osira fight. Why is there random electricity bounces in the thing?
It's like it's venting steam. It's weird.
Electronic steam that forces they want to extend the fight because it's a blank white room, and they're like, let's have the ship. Remember, the ship isn't damaged at all. It shields to 50% at the end. It's completely functional. Spore drive, warp, weapons, shields. It's fine. What the heck? Why? There isn't this shit in the computer core. This is the safe bit. This is the heart of the ship. You don't have electronic static that hurts people and flies them. It's pathetic.
Brian Kesterson, a drunk rant would be best. I totally agree.
Well, that'll be the retrospective that we do. And I just saw there's a stunt woman, Burnham, and they blurred her face.
Oh, really?
Because I thought I didn't like Burnham, but yeah. Like, look at the live.
Well,
it's just literally her face is just slightly blurred. The scene isn't blurred. I know there's motion blur, but that's absolutely a...
I'm way behind, so hold on.
Yeah, that's absolutely a blur in her face. Because it definitely wasn't... The way the hair was, it hid a few moments of her whatever.
Yeah. Well, even when she's got like this being pushed in, she doesn't look like Burnham just because of the way her face is contorted. But focus on Janet Kidder in some of these shots because she very much looks like Lois Lane. And I think it almost looks like she doesn't have her prosthetics on.
She looks thinner, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't put the nose or cheeks on, which they put on for some reason.
Something different. She looks more attractive for sure. And she definitely looks like just Lois Lane.
Yeah, she has less makeup on, yeah.
But yeah, Burnham, and she gets killed so unceremoniously, just shot from behind the thing, 3 shots. And then even when she's laying on the ground and you see the little smoking, like her head is smoking. And I swear to God, it's an effect I have on my phone for the smoke effect that you can add to things.
Yeah. But whatever. And just like I said, this whole scene is bad. Like if you're gonna put Burnham into something, you have to set up what it is, because we have no context. Yes. It obviously isn't the computer core, so it's simply a replica matter store that's useful for stuff like making chairs and tables. Maybe. I
assume it's just future like memory that can be reconfigured as it needs to be reconfigured. That's kind of the vibe that I got. It was part of the computer core. It's just like a memory core or something. I don't know.
But there's no thing there. It's just a thing that's meant to imply water that she sort of drowns her in. But it's like, since we don't know what it is, we don't know if she can come out of it. So therefore, there's no tension. It just feels like an unknown thing. And the fact that Asara's also holding the gun and she lets Burnham take the gun into the unknown material. Yeah. And I was not left thinking Burnham's dead, because it's like, well, why would she be dead? Like, I don't know what this is to know what the threat is. Yeah. And then when she pulls the gun out,
she could come out as a robot, like the lady in Superman 3. Yeah. Like stronger, better.
Yeah. Or come out in an exosuit like aliens.
And Glimji says, "I'll get you, my pretties, you and your little dots too." Yeah. Speaking of dot, I got a little dot. But anyway.
Oh my God. And then there's only second watching you hear the gun going. And so somehow Burnham in this matter is able to move enough to charge the gun, push her out, shoot it, and not miss.
She shoots her right in the forehead too, eh? There's one shot where she's falling. You can see where it hit her.
And given the gun is way higher than it was, she's completely able to move in this. And that just shows Asara's complete lack of ability in what she's doing. Because,
So she took the gun from down here.
Yep.
Up like this.
Yep.
It's like, no.
And then moved it down.
They should have been coming up, like from the midsection up.
Yep. And they should have missed. Should have shot the entire clip and then only one hit. It is bad. And then she pulls the gun out with no effort at all. It's effortless. Watch it. And then her head's like, oh! But the gun was effortless. The CG's nice, good job, but it's just a bad moment. It's bad. Sorry.
Eric Spengler, $7. My favorite Discovery fight was the Trill Planet. 2 guys with spears approach Burnham. She stuns them both with her phaser. Quick and logical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All credit. Yeah.
John Clambo, €2. We should contact the producers. It's so stupid. These scenes are stupid. This part, this chunk, the fight, the Turbolift, the computer core, kind of dumb. The rest was good. Luckily, Stuart, we're now almost out of this shit. And we're right on the edge. I think we're basically out of the shit now. Because then she pulls floppy disks out of the wall into other parts of the wall and resets the ship. Those look like big circuit breakers, the old breakers that you had.
Yeah. I didn't mind the retroness.
Which is kind of TOS.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
So.
And actually, it would have been kind of cool if the rest of the walls were clean and futuristic, and there was one panel of old shit, implying she went back to the old backups, because that stuff. Because I can imagine, again, if you were going to do further, you could say that Osira's computer could override new data, but it wouldn't know how the hell to overwrite the old database. Hence why she had to update it with the old stuff. That would be fun. Then you could argue that's the emergency. The code's too old to hack.
But she called IT and she turned it off and on again.
It does feel that way. Yeah.
And I love how the voice goes from male to male, and then it's like she's not sure if it worked, and then all of a sudden it's like. Whoop. I love the reaction. I love her reaction here. It's great.
Yeah.
and then the instant orders: reestablish life support, beam all the regulators off the ship, and you hear it like complying each time with the little beeps.
Yep.
Awesome.
I love the lighting of her when she turns everything off. It's good. It's effective. Although obviously, is she beaming the interrogators into space? Because you would assume that
no, they're beaming onto the
Viridian
other ship because they know that she knows that they're in the other ship. So I just assume that the computer would automatically beam them somewhere safe, just off the ship.
But you would assume the Viridian would have its shields up inside and they couldn't beam across. Otherwise, it's a really bad design because if you can just beam people onto their ship.
But I don't think beaming through shields is a thing anymore because it's the future. Like even with shields up, you should still be able to beam at this point.
Why don't they have just beaming jammers? Well, I guess they don't know.
Well, they did have beaming jammers installed on the ship.
Yeah.
That's why nobody could beam until this point.
But why wouldn't you have them on the other ship? Just as a safety measure.
Brett Barrow is here. $1. Thank you very much,
Hey,
Brett. Good to see you.
It would have been nice if she'd said to the Viridian. Small detail would have been kind of nice to not potentially kill them. But yeah, she gives all the orders. The crew wakes up instantly. You get the awkward dialogue of, you didn't die, neither did you. And the dot dying that I had zero impact on me. It's like, dude, it's a robot.
It was my honor to save you.
It's like, dude, you've got lots of other dots. We've already seen other dots we saw other dots that weren't shot. So we know other dots survived.
This was the yellow-eyed dot. This was the one that had the sphere data. Specifically, this was the leader.
But
if not,
the thing about that though is that we saw all three colors, red, blue, and yellow, implying it's not about.
I never saw a red one. There was blue ones and yellow ones. There was never a red one.
Let me go back, because someone pointed this out to me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right."
Okay.
Let's see. First scene with them, you've got yellow, blue, and red from last episode. Let me bring it into the thing, and so it doesn't denote Zora. It just denotes that's an engineer version. Which again doesn't help with it being.
You mean a command version?
Yes, I do.
Oh, wait a minute. Command for TOS.
No, sorry. I don't. I would think I was right. There you go.
Could be operations, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Yellow, and it's true. The yellow one was the first one that said hi to them, but all three of them talked. So.
Yes.
It just isn't a powerful moment. It's meant to, but.
I'm just waiting for the live to catch up because I can't see this shit right now. I'm still waiting.
It's a red and a blue and a yellow and a blue and a red. Yes, we did Dream Out there, and it was brilliant.
Is it really red, or is it just the red reflection because there's red behind the people? It just looks like it's glinting off the same. It doesn't look red to me.
Okay.
I mean, I see the ring around the eye. I see what you're saying.
Pretty
but
obvious.
The other one doesn't have. Okay, I disagree. I think it's the red lighting that's behind Tilly and them that's reflecting off that. But okay.
Hey, the chat has spoken.
I need better proof for more than two color dots.
Fair enough. So. But you can see at least circumstantial evidence.
Yeah, sure. Naysayer 2 pounds. HAL 9000 should have activated upon computer reset.
What do you want, Burnham? How can I help you?
Beam the regulators off. I'm sorry, I can't do that, Michael. Jerry, $2. I wonder what a command dot would even do. They would command.
Easy answer. I like that. What it do? Command. That's funny. And do you want me to find you another picture now, or just send you later?
Doesn't matter. I don't care. If there's a red one, there's a red one. You just have to. I can see that being a reflection as well as being red.
I got the picture of them sort of floating up, and they're in darkness, so there's no reflective light, and you can see that the blue guy and the red guy distinctly color-wise, because they're just coming from the same locations as each other's lights of eyes, so it's. Yeah, you can see all the different color palettes. Bit weird. But I think we both agree that probably what's happened is like a large chunk of the program has been destroyed with the amount of dots destroyed, and so we'll get a case of the sphere data was intact and now is like only 30% left, and that'll be a case of like rebuilding it or whatever, because it's such a MacGuffin, you know. Yeah. It's a get out of jail free card that we don't need.
You're absolutely right. That is red. So cool.
Well, I wasn't right.
That was a better shot to use.
Yeah. No, the chat told me yesterday. I was like, ooh, because it's kind of a nice detail to have all three. Makes sense, I guess. Sure.
Yeah. No, I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I just didn't see that before.
Yeah.
And the other one could have definitely been a reflection. So
Cool.
piss off, all of you.
But they get to the bridge.
I'm wrong. And I'm wrong.
They get to the bridge, and for some reason,
First time for everything.
the scientist guy's there, which I don't mind per se, but she doesn't know he turned, and they had to make active, conscious effort to bring him up there. It just feels a bit like he's not organically going to be there, and he's also still knocked out.
And last time we saw him, he was passed out. Just like in the last episode, last time we saw him, he was stunned, and then all of a sudden he's fine on the bridge again.
Yeah.
I guess the bridge has the scientist reactivation field every time he goes up there. He's fine.
Like, it's fine if there was a quick moment of him beaming and like them waking him up. You don't need it, but it just feels abrupt. And considering this entire episode takes place in like an hour, it doesn't quite feel right.
Aeon, computer, what's a regulator? Beam to where?
Yes, very, very good point. Wow, I love that.
Oh, that's really good. It's the old computer program too. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What?
Well, it's like that scene in one of the teenage episodes. Computer, energize. It's like, how many of you?
Who?
Like, yeah, like there's 2 new people here. What do you mean? All of us? What? Yeah, exactly. So they've done. We're not, calling them out per se. It's just they could do it better. But I'm going to call them out for this moment. They're inside the potential flagship of the Emerald Chain. For some reason, I guess they assume. I mean, they probably can tell there's no Orion life signs. Okay, there you go. That's easy. They're shooting them, right? And no fucks are given. Like, they don't even appear as if damage has been taken. There's no threat being posed. I know they're not the most powerful weapons, but
they're shooting anti-proton cannons. I don't know if that makes a difference. They probably want to keep the spore tech intact. So maybe they're not trying to destroy Discovery.
Sure. But it just doesn't have any sort of tension to it. Like, you're inside the flagship and it should be a cool moment, and it's completely flat.
Yeah.
It's completely flat. It's very strange.
So we're inside the Viridian. We need to get out of it. I have an idea. And Tilly's like, just do your thing. But Tilly, no, it makes you feel better. It's an order. Like, I don't want to be captain anymore. I fucked that up already. So you're more competent and capable, so you just please do it. I love that scene.
I mean, I appreciate Tilly realizing she didn't do a good job, because she does fail, and she doesn't actually get in that situation either. She does understand the messaging from. I mean, she should be better second in command to Burnham because they have a shorthand, I guess. But Burnham has an idea at least. Like, it makes sense. Yeah, that's an order if it helps you. Is a fun line. And Burnham's idea is to do the ultimate move, is to launch warp core. And I was quite happy with this as a logical solution, because that could destroy it. Although you are blowing up very limited dilithium you have. Like, if this was any other situation early in the season, you'd be like, oh, that's one of our short amount of dilithium.
The dilithium is it might not be in the core.
It should be in the core based on TNG, although obviously we have no idea based on these new
exactly. We're not sure where the dilithium reaction chamber is in this one.
I also don't think they know where anything is either, because the warp core is a very small thing in a very large room with nothing connecting properly. It's weird, but it's a good idea. It's a good simple idea.
We're gonna eject the warp core and blow up the ship, and we think we have a way to get out of it.
Yeah, Stuart.
Well, I'm glad you say that.
How do we survive this? We have a plan, right? It's a good plan. Yes. Oh.
And I love how it's Burnham that looks at Aurelio and says, Aurelio,
I've never met you, but hi.
Yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, I've studied many types of empaths. The Quajon version is different. Mr. Brooker doesn't just feel, he connects. He's able to communicate with species that is nothing like his own. Commander Stamets needs tardigrade DNA to communicate with the spores, but I think Book could do it just because of who he is. His DNA makes that possible. Wow. Okay.
And someone in the chat said briefly, why hasn't Aurelio been beamed off? Would he not be included in the... Like, the computer doesn't know any different.
It's a life sign I don't recognize. Yeah, absolutely. Get the fuck off.
Yeah, that's a good point. He should be beamed off.
So would Book. Book would be gone too.
Well, I could see pre-refit they put him into the system because he was on the ship before the refit. I could see that being...
Sure.
He's understood as a friendly. But yeah, I mean, Aurelio should absolutely be gone. The computer wouldn't know the difference. Now, the idea of Book comes out of left field, but it's not unreasonable. It's just jumping the shark. That's my simple... What do you guys think?
It was too quick, too soon, too sudden. If
Yes.
it would have been alluded to over the course of a few episodes,
Yes.
sure. And like I said, give them some practice first. Don't just, oh, by the way, we're going to die if you don't do this. You've never done it before. It's like throwing somebody into the seat of a 747.
I was gonna say.
Saying, if we don't fucking take off in 10 minutes, we're all dead. We know that you once maybe jumped off of a building that's 30 feet tall and survived. You got experience. Have at it. You drove a car once, right? All right.
Or even simpler. Yeah, you're a pilot that piloted a little plane crop duster. You got 30 seconds to fly my 747.
There's a slight chance that they'd be able to do that.
And there's a slight chance he can
as
do
a pilot myself.
Yeah. What?
But
huh?
Yeah, I almost got my pilot's license when I was in my 20s. Didn't quite finish because I couldn't afford it. So yes.
As an almost pilot myself.
Yes.
But I do think it's not unreasonable. All you needed was a scene in episode 5 when he walks into the spore chamber, because he walks in there when he finds the thing, subspace relay, and like you hear like, and he looks for the spore canisters, like he's sensing them. That's all you need, you know.
Zarkum, was that a Wonder Woman 84 reference? Yeah.
Oh, I haven't
It's
seen
pretty
that
much.
yet.
Oh.
Well, hold on, it's fine. There you go. You can say it. It's fine.
There's pretty much no way that a World War I pilot would be able to fly a Tornado jet, and it's on the Smithsonian tarmac, and it's fully fueled, and it's also fully maintained and ready to go, and it has enough fuel to get to Cairo. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. And he was flying basically boxes with wings, with no electronics, no advanced. Anyway, it's not like he's a World War II pilot. He's World War I. Okay, Samuel can come back now.
Easy.
All right. There you go. Don't read the chat.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a huge problem with it. It's just way too quick, and the idea that you can part it 30 seconds after being given the assignment is insanity.
Laughable.
Yeah. But it's not the worst thing. It's just stupid.
It's not the worst thing, and
So
it makes sense because he does communicate with the other animals. It's fine. I get it. But
although it does
it's just quickly like,
yeah.
This is the thing. No, it should have been a lead up.
And it changes the entire show. Because not only is he able to do it with zero training, which implies, as I joked earlier, that Detmer bitched at Stamets, because Stamets is all Mr. Big and might have been Mr. Pilot. Turns out, Stamets is a fraud, because a guy with no training can also do it within 30 seconds and accurately spore. It's not like he spored to just out of blast range. He spored to the exact right location without any training. So Stamets, this shit easy, bro. You know? You cannot be bitching about how hard it is. It is not. But not everyone on Qui-Gon can do it. But we know at least his not brother can do it because same gene setup. And they imply there are several of you. Not loads, but some. And so we've now opened up to, I would say, probably 10 or so people. Obviously, we can jump to however many we want. But it's absolutely changed the entire paradigm because, of course, it's now replicatable technology.
Yeah. And Eugene makes a valid point. To fly is easy. To start the engine could be impossible. Yes. Once you're in the air, you're fine. It's just getting everything lined up and everything. Yeah. That's the hard part.
And it'd be fine if like they had an hour or two and he had to like feel the spores and communicate with them. Like
exactly.
I could see that being like, you know, or like he goes into a trance in his eye. And you know what, Stuart? Embarrassingly, they didn't even do his head becoming the effect.
They should have. I know, they absolutely should have.
Like that's the entire point. I said this entire point. That was weird. That was a really weird moment of not doing that. Weird. But
the shields are down to 50%, and they beam book to the spore chamber, and it's the new beaming effect, even though they reset to the original system. It would have been nice to have the old beaming effect, just as a we're still using the old equipment or the old whatever.
Last hurrah. But speaking of last hurrah, Kelp Monster pieces out. It's a cute, it's a fun little moment actually for what it is. Like, you go, bro.
Hey, I forgot all about this. We were focused on this fucking Turbolift.
Yep. Oh dear.
Anyway, yeah, it's okay to be afraid. Let's go turn off the holodeck program. And he's like, I've been in here for a long time.
Since I was a child, yeah.
Yeah, and Gray's freaking out because Gray's going to disappear once the program ends, and Hugh's like, don't worry, we got you, bro.
Basically.
We're gonna bring you back. We know that you exist. We know the computer can identify you.
Yes.
I know that you're not that Adira is not fucking crazy and has an imaginary friend. I now know it's true. So.
And Kier Kona says lack of VFX, COVID, etc. Why was there a Gormagander in the first scene with beautiful CGI? Sorry, you can't use that as an excuse. They had time for that for a non-important shot, which was way harder. Sorry. They picked and chose. Sorry, don't do the Turbolift bullshit. They had time for a lot of visual effects. I'm not trying to be mean there, but they had all the time. And all the CGI looks great, except the Turbolift stuff, but it's really, like, it's a hard thing to do. Like, everything else, there's no sign of COVID shit. Like, all the CGI is good. There's nothing wrong with it.
Re-edit this, Samuel. Re-edit this without the damn Turbolift scene. That's all you have to take out. You have to just edit it really quickly, like he kills a few regulators and Turbolift. Boom, done. And she gets to the core. It would take it down to, what, 47 minutes?
Yeah.
But Aeon, $5. Sorry. Nice. Have to go. Great review, guys. Overall, the nonsense. It was pretty good episode for Discovery. 8 out of 10.
And it's sad because we were positive pretty much all the way up until the point we weren't, and that's the problem with those like 10 minutes. But the grey stuff, but the grey stuff is good, and it sets up season 4. Because I can imagine this every time Grey can interact with anybody. It's like, I don't want to be a ghost in your brain. Either don't have me, don't let me exist, or give me everything, because I wouldn't be okay with that. And so it was. I like that instant. Like, this is not okay. But the pure fact that Grey could exist in this way in a 150-year-old ship minimum, because the ship isn't going to be brand new probably, means it will be really easy in season 4. It should be no harder, because this ship did it on accident. Sorry. But it made sense, I liked it, and I'm glad they at least dealt with it until then. Back to Sakal. You know, it's your journey, but I'm here too. I did like the little hand becoming big hand. Lovely little CGI touch. Nice.
I love the body bags and the rotting corpse of his mother. It's a great touch. Great touch.
And the fact he had to say end program. Simple, very Trek of it. And the effect of it all disappearing was gorgeous. Frantic, but gorgeous.
Yeah. And then we get the little reenactment where she's like, why did you I told you not to touch the program, because she didn't want him to see her die. So he actually ended shut the program down. You didn't get that?
No, explain it to me. Because I just thought he just was in this room anyway, and she died. No.
She said, he comes in and said, what happened to my family? She says, they did not survive. Sukal, I told you not to touch the console, not until the Federation comes. So she was going to die so that he wouldn't see her die. He wanted him to be in the program, and then the Federation came, he'd shut it down and find out that she had passed away. So to see his mom like that is what caused this, right? So he said, why did you touch the console? I told you not to touch it until the Federation comes.
So what you're saying is he was in the program, turned it off because he was curious.
Yes.
And then he suddenly revealed his entire family dying on the floor. Or dead on the floor.
Yes.
That was not clear. I wish you said, why did you end the program? Touch the console I just took as you touched something, you silly child. No. Okay, that's way more powerful. I'll be honest, that was totally lost on me. Because I just thought he walked in because she's not well enough to close doors. I don't know. But yeah, real graphic. Although, this surprised me how old he was. I mean, we've no idea of Kelpian lifespan, but he's definitely like 10 minimum. So they last a long time on this planet. But
they did make the reference he must have been at least 4 or 5 earlier.
Yes, you're right. So 5, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, and boy, I like, it's horrible, but yeah, the fact they've turned to dust is really dark. And I wonder if this is a CGI room or not. Although you can see it was the same window as the one that Grey looked out, so I'm sure it's the same thing. But yeah, it's a horrible little scene. It's exactly as I called it, so I'm happy, although it doesn't take a rocket science to pick it up. Yeah. But yeah, it's real sad, actually.
And the scream, the kid looks kind of freaky, honestly, with the smooth Kelpian skin. Looks really weird. But the scream is pretty realistic and terrifying. And I was thinking, is it going to cause another burn, like the recreation, or the fact that he sees this again?
I considered that, yeah.
It's like, because it did ripple out throughout the planet. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, anyway. I think the question is, why would the holodeck that's currently destabilizing feel the need to recreate out of the ship a holographic wave? Like, Is that what it's doing?
Well, all it had to do was recreate the sound of his scream, which was connected to the spores, even though it was his DNA, and that's not really him. That's just a hologram. But
yeah, the L wouldn't do it, but I was imagining he would. But what I think the difference here is that Zakal isn't feeling the same. Oh, obviously, because she already died once, but he's now linked this straight to, oh fuck, I caused the burn. It's now a sadness internal. It's a because of that scene, he's associating this as, I'm seeing from the outside, sort of grown up. Oh no, I caused this. I think that's why he's not causing a second burn, because he's reliving it. Because that context shift, as Cyrus said earlier. So I quite like that because it seems a little easy why he doesn't do it and he kind of gets over it. But I think he was led into that. So
I love when he sees Saru for the first time, because they've showed Culber, they've showed Adira, they hadn't showed Doug Jones until this point, and he turns around and he's like, oh, like it was so good. He's, you are real.
Yeah.
It's
weirdly strong as a moment, and you actually forgot how good Doug Jones looks. And also the height difference is interesting. That shows Kelpians both had their because you can tell when you put them side by side that Doug has a lot more, or Saru has a lot more strong makeup. That him has got a lot less Kelpian. Maybe he's only 1/5 Kelpian, but also the height difference is quite extreme. One's human size, and the other guy's a foot taller. But yeah, lovely little moment. Actually, surprisingly strong.
And Jay Donaldson said, did they tell him what the burn was? Yes.
Yeah, there's a whole scene about that.
What the burn was, and that's why the Federation couldn't come to rescue him. And he's like, I caused that? So yeah, he knew about the burn and that he caused it before this. So.
That's why those scenes are there. That's fine.
Yeah.
And it is really sad. One last thing about the mum dying. Her last words are, wait for the Federation. You can see why that scarred him, because that's a shitty last line. In terms of I had to wait. Because you can imagine as a kid he was waiting. And then obviously this is 5 generations later. That's why he's gone a little bit, not that insane, but more just he's had to cut it all out of his brain.
And then we get Book saying, I never told you about my mentor.
Cleveland Booker.
It's Cleveland Booker, and have to tell you a story for you to survive this. Point being, I try to live up to the name every day. So that's going to be another season 4 reveal. He's probably going to be a Starfleet captain or something, because it's a very human name, obviously.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Because she said that. Why have you got such a human name, even though you've never been to Earth? Yep. I like that.
And an English accent, even though you've never been to Earth.
And I thought that was an odd reveal, but interesting. Because we've already had the Book. Yeah, it's one of the name.
Watch this. He was captain of the Enterprise or something stupid.
Oh, go to hell. But it's and it means that we're now going to have a double reveal of what his real name is. Can you imagine if it's like Burnham? Secret ancestor for some reason.
So they eject the core, and we see the core, and it is something out of Terminator.
Dum 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 dum.
And then it falls down this shaft.
Or just Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yes, true.
And clearly there's no engineering attached to it. It's just an open core.
Yeah.
I mean, we know this is the refit, but for a thing that's replicable matter, it clearly feels like they just shoved a tiny future warp core into the existing warp core containment. But this again breaks all the point of having a warp core unit. I mean, maybe those things are rails around it, but yeah, it's a shitty warp core. And we were right about what there was. The support chamber wasn't the engineering room, clearly.
Yeah, and then when it falls, the shaft is 2 times too big for it, so it's hitting off, causing sparks. That's real safe.
Oy.
And it's so long. It's such a long core. At least we saw Voyager ejected a few times, and it comes out nice and neat.
Because the warp core is this big, Voyager's this big. It's almost the entire length. The Enterprise refit is the entire length of the hull, besides a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the core's small. It is a small core, fine. But it's embarrassing because it's absolutely falling it's falling on many decks. So this thing is at the top of the secondary hull? In the neck?
Well, not where it comes out, because it would have had to go down like this and then out. So it's somewhere, I don't know.
It's just... And the sparks was the big mistake. It would have been okay if it just went down, but this is designed to do this as a safety procedure to save the ship. And imagine if this thing was actually destabilizing by some unknown alien interference. Sparks! Oi! And then it hovers for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
It hovers. Why does it hover? I don't know.
Well, maybe the same reason that Discovery's hovering inside the shuttle bay. It's kind of got field that holds it. So it went down and got grabbed by it. I don't know. That's the least of the problems in this episode, is that it's hovering.
It is, but it would have been better if it just kept falling and then exploded, or they didn't give it 60 seconds. I don't know.
But then the please jump, please jump. And I got to admit, the explosion from the outside of the Viridian looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Where it kind of buckles and then comes in on itself and then.
Yep. Very good. And they do explicitly say get the fleet away from the ships. So
Yes.
that is covered. Doesn't explain like they should have mentioned the Viridian's under fire. It's been under fire for at least several minutes now. But whatever. Who cares? Who cares about continuity? And I just the way that they jump the ship, like you wonder why it doesn't work. You have zero scientific evidence this is going to work. Like the theory that the scientist guy has a theory with never been proven. I really wish you just had any sort, just it's awkward. But yes, blowy uppy, a lovely shot of the ships. Very
ships,
Star Trek, Star Wars Last Jedi of the.
But it seems like they're all Starfleet ships and none of the Navarre ships.
Yeah, I think they didn't come with them. Which I would be fine with. They're not as fast. I can see that being a very logical thing. Starfleet went for the top ships. Navarre doesn't go anywhere. Why would they? Whereas Starfleet goes places. So I'm absolutely fine with that. I think that actually makes more sense, actually. And then we cut to a sad moment. Luckily the ship's systems are working enough for this last message, because if it hadn't have worked, the ship's gone after this. So we get the message that it's sad.
Yeah, please take him home to Kaminar, where her family lives, the Narrows, and talks about have his grandfather float him. He'll understand what it means.
Yeah.
So.
It's nice. It's good to see the actress get another segment. Although I can't help but seeing TARDIS consoles with the consoles in the middle.
Yeah,
very
no shit,
TARDIS-y.
No shit.
And then we're a family, will do it together. I wish, because they've been through this ordeal, right? It's been a couple of hours. They are all dying, give or take. But they have zero evidence to assume Discovery is back, will come back. But they're just I'll show you Kaminar. Let's hope they appear in the next 45 seconds. I don't like the annoying timing. It's too last second. It's like a bomb going off at 0.0001 seconds. It's just.
And considering Paul said if it's more than a day, don't even bother.
But they got
we
the
don't know how
drugs,
much.
Though.
I know we don't know how much time has passed, but
not a day, for sure.
He should have said, "Damn, I regret saying that." Fuck.
Yeah, seriously, that's true. Yeah. But it's something about it just feels too. I know it's always nick of time, but it doesn't feel as organic as it should be. I like the fact that the other burn caused the ship to deteriorate within the last hour. That's a nice touch to escalate the plot, but it's just too okay, we could do the pickup right now. Discovery. Oh, you are there. Excellent. That was a shot in the dark, and they beam out, and it's fine. Okay.
Fleetpod Swiftback, $2, 503 likes. Thanks a lot, y'all. Hashtag made Fleetpod pay.
We did.
513 likes now.
Oh,
guys, awesome.
brilliant.
If you haven't hit like. Let's try to get to 520. 7 more likes.
Yeah. Now, what do you think of Discovery actually being in atmosphere? Because that kind of surprised me.
Didn't bother me. I was just at this point I was just I'm surprised they made it there, considering he doesn't know how to drive. Getting to safety is different than getting to where they need to be.
Yeah.
Oh well, whatever. It was fine. And
the only problem I have with it is that 50% shields is all you had, plus you're under fire still, so probably 45. Shields are only down 8% every 5 seconds. So I wish there'd been a moment where you see it sport instantly out, because they will be dead in under a minute and a half. The ship can't take this, and it's also on the planet where we know radiation is worse because they had to go to a safe area. So I wish I know it's unnecessary, but I wish they had an instant out. Because they have seconds here until they're all radiation poisoning. And Saru and such, they're also heavily radiated still, So, small thing. But the cut was great to see the procession of you did it, guys. We took the long route here. I know we took 2 hours to get back here, and we asked you to wait for us because we had to get back here in procession. But thanks for waiting for a bit, because they had to actually go back the slow way.
Then we see the ship collapse and explode, and then we get the nice progression of the Discovery flying through.
It's nice.
The new ships. You get you see a registry number 2. You see some of the ships, and it's a nice little welcome home kind of thing, you know.
I just wish they were better lit and more detailed, and some like shots from the side. They don't, and there's like fighters as well, which pisses me off. There's like little tiny fighters, which is not fun because they shouldn't be fighters. But the effect shot of the view screen is glorious, beautiful CG reflection. I love the acting because you imagine like his perspective, like I'm seeing things I never like because the hull only goes so far, and he's like, oh, that was fun. And now we start the good stuff again, Stuart. Full on good stuff. We're back, guys. We've made it back to the good stuff. Those 366 of you waiting and watching, made it back to the good. There's nothing really bad in the next few minutes, so congrats to them.
Stamets disses Burnham, gives her a look, and then looks away, and she's like, "Oh, what? You don't like me?"
Yeah, and it's sad because Culber's like, like it's a really, sad.
Jet and Oa fix Zora.
Jet's here, Stuart. You got Jet.
Yeah, for a second. But yeah, Zora's back online in a dot droid. We get the Federation is continuing to rebuild. Trill has already rejoined.
Good to see her.
And
good payoff.
worlds are considering it, and we get including Navarre, and she does this, and then I like that the progression of live long and prosper into this as well.
Oh
I think that was nice
because it starts to feel very Romulan-y.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't even think about that, but that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Good Kaminar. I like the future Kaminar.
Future Kaminar looks cool, man. I gotta say.
Yeah, and it also is a good way of saying, even without warp travel, and with this burn, planets are still fine. You don't need space travel to have stuff. Clearly, this planet is doing absolutely fine. It's just the galaxy got smaller. You know, it's a different sort of emergency. And he says Saru is now on leave for a bit after the talk, so there's a little bit of a time jump even within this flash forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's taken him to, and you imagine it's almost more important for Saru, like more special for him to see Kaminar actually than the other guy. No, it's
Excelsior sweet. UK Trill rejoined. Get it?
But speaking of rejoin, Stuart, we have the Trekyards moment of the episode as we pan up. Some people, it blurs. Burnham comes in, not recognizing, walks up.
Even though they blurred it, I knew who it was instantly. Yeah. Yeah, Lieutenant Sahil.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
Sahil saved.
Yeah.
There you go. New
He's
hashtag.
Like, I am so grateful. Thank you. I just love it. It was such a nice moment. Yes, thank you. Justice, says Jay Donaldson. Spam the chat, everybody. Justice.
Or hashtag
justice for Sahil.
Yeah.
Just justice.
Yes. Excellent.
Because we made that happen. We were tweeting that for a long time. Not even thinking that he would be coming back. Being referenced again.
We did.
I didn't have faith. I did not have faith of the heart.
Also, you're out of focus.
I know, but who cares at this point?
Yeah, man, James. Hey, make us drink. We do our drinking game with those things. No, it was lovely, and it was just the right amount. I did say to you in our review though how he got rescued because logically the Discovery would have to rescue him because he's far enough away, which means Burnham should know. Because
they sent the ship out, and the ship came back, and he was already. Yeah, it took this whole time. They were on a run the whole time that this all happened.
But yeah, you have to basically send a ship because their 3-week mission was already a lot when they were saying about missions, so they had to choose to send a ship. I mean, I guess they said there's a guy called Sahil there, maybe, but to send a crew like 9 weeks out just to pull the guy back for literally one guy, whereas the spore jumping is a few seconds. There's a slight disconnect there because ships haven't got faster with more dilithium. There's just more ships can be active, and it was already too far previously. So it doesn't really make sense. I wish that, I wish she had said, oh, I'm so glad you got promoted. Like, sure, we knew he was there. Would have been better, I think.
Yeah.
But he looks great in uniform, and by God, I hope he comes back in season 4.
Yes.
For some reason, he's great.
Eugene, 100 rubles. Was that part of Boston 23.99 on Kaminar? I don't know.
Don't know.
We get the Admiral Vance thing. We find out he has a daughter and a wife who had left because it wasn't safe here. He'll be rejoining them at some point. And he goes on to say that his daughter didn't do things properly. She used to draw pictures instead of numbers, and but it worked. And I was like, this whole time I'm going, no. Yeah, it's fine that you break the rules and don't follow anything that you're supposed to do, but hey, as long as you get the results that we expect, who cares?
Just because you don't reflect the proper procedure of a true Starfleet officer and thousands behind you, let's give you promotion, despite not representing a good Starfleet officer material.
Yeah. Well, she does say, I want to hold off until Saru comes back.
Yes.
He's like, I don't think we can afford that. You got things to do. You're a delivery service now.
And her being made captain, once you started to explain, is a bit more justifiable. Like she's the only person who knows the ship, the crew, the tech. But the way he's so, you're the best person, is obnoxious. He could have said it, and because he's normally so reserved, but here he's like, you're the best. And it's like he's known hundreds of officers, hundreds of geniuses, and he's the head of CNC. He's seen the best of Starfleet. She is nowhere near the best of Starfleet. He's better than her at Starfleet because he made CNC.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
So
this is quite a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's just too much. It's just a few too much. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is representative of some kind of time jump because we find out here that they found a way to mine dilithium on that planet.
Yes.
So they're currently starting mining procedures there, which means they had to get through all the ion storms somehow without Discovery, I guess. Unless Discovery spore jumped in and dropped off some shit on the planet. People and stuff.
Probably. Honestly, we have no idea how long. I like the kind of going past that because that tells us season 4 is the big season.
Yes.
And they get into more of that in a minute. It's good. And like I said, I don't mind her being captain in this context. It's just it wasn't done brilliantly. And given they spent the first 6 showing she's not a good captain to then give her captaincy. But the fact that she says no, basically, is nice. Wait for Saru. She doesn't want to be captain, but he says, I need you right now for this role. Yes or no now. And she does her duty. Yeah, it works. But it's definitely too stroking the ego of the show. You can imagine this with Picard, or Riker, Godchild doesn't really work. But then Stuart, we get the cut. And at this point, my heart's beating already. But I'm thinking, are they going to? They better. You'd better. You'd better. Yes. Come on.
As soon as I saw the uniform, I'm like, yes, they're doing it.
And beautiful close up. That's the best close up we've ever had for the bloody comm badge too, ever.
Yeah.
Da da da.
Captain on the bridge. Everybody's lined up. Book doesn't have a uniform, but that's okay because he's not for Starfleet.
Well, I'm wondering why we have 2 random people in the helm and whatever.
Because everybody had to be lined up.
Yeah, but just don't have those guys then. Just have everyone off their consoles.
Just have Oa and Detmer stand up there. Yeah, absolutely.
I was really because they draw attention by. It's like, who the hell are you? Stop inventing new people, please.
I'm Fred, and this is Willard, and we're
big
gonna
fans.
be the red shirts for next season.
Oh, first episode they die, yeah. Even though they're in gold. And this was the big. The ending is the palate cleanser, is the epilogue, is the thing that I think really leaves you with a strong finish to the episode. Without this, it would have fallen down, I think, a little bit more. But this shows they understand. Now we're just waiting for the interiors to be changed, but they couldn't do that in between episodes. It was impractical. But yeah, we get close-ups of everybody.
Close-ups of everybody, and now having said that Tilly's colors changed, it looks very fake on that close-up of her.
Yes.
Compared to Adira, who's also wearing blue.
Yeah.
Adira's looks natural, hers just doesn't. But that's okay.
Yeah.
And even Stamets and Linus is wearing blue too. Linus you can see behind Detmer in one shot.
Yes. You can see Tilly has been digitally changed. Although I was a bit annoyed though that everyone were close up except Tilly and
Reese.
Yeah.
Those were together. Yeah.
It's like you've just given all of them. You've given the lady who wasn't in season 1 except the dead character a close up. Give us 2 more. I felt honestly disrespected for the guy. Like, come on, you gave them all. Well, I guess you didn't give you gave Tig a close up. Who the hell cares about Tig in terms of being a regular crew member? She's had 4 lines this season, and so, neither is the Asian guy, but it just felt not fair to have them all except. And that felt really strange to me. Didn't like that.
And Lisa Jericho says, why is Culver still wearing white? He should be green. No. It was a mint green in the TOS era for the medical, like a light mint green. But this is 900 fucking years later. A lot could change. I know that he was wearing a white uniform in Discovery era as well, but it's fine.
We've also seen people who are medical wear white, so we know they wear white in this future. So that's it.
Yes, that's true.
We've seen them, it's fine. And some point out Tilly has an ensign bar, so that's confirmed still an ensign, which obviously she wouldn't be promoted for losing Discovery. And she did not regain Discovery either. So she should not be promoted for that.
She should not be promoted to lieutenant. Everybody's been pushing for that. She just got promoted to ensign from cadet last season, for fuck's sakes.
Yes.
She hasn't even been an ensign formally for that long, so...
And like I said, she didn't get the ship back. She didn't even help to get the ship back. She helped to stop the ship in warp, but it was redundant 5 seconds later. Does not deserve promotion. But then, lovely, respectful moment. Burnham sits down and looks great in the costume. The hair does cover a lot of the red. Doesn't look as good, but she looks great in it with a double epaulette. Badge, again, too shiny. Always a problem, but maybe season 4 they'll fix it while you have matte badges, because for God's sake, it's lost. It's a waste of a badge. What are you thinking? And then she had chirpily says, mission report. And on Detmer's screen, there's still the old Discovery. It's still got the lines coming out of there. And can't even bother to change displays, guys. Come on, seriously. You can see it's got sort of pylons in the thing. Oh, doesn't you like 7 of 9 there, Detmer? With the you only see
a little bit.
7 of Detmer. But what do they say then? What's the mission of the USS Discovery?
Right. What's the latest? The mining vessel Coloma is waiting for us at the Dilithium planet. First deliveries are 2 Federation worlds, 5 non-Federation worlds, and 1 starbase that would like to thank us with their signature gelato. And then we get a beautiful shot of Tilly. Tilly looks really great in this uniform, by the way.
Yeah, she looks much better in this uniform. Actually suits her. Well done.
Yeah. Is everybody ready? And that's let's fly.
Which is a Pike thing?
No, it's her own thing. Pike never said that.
It doesn't.
That's her own thing.
It's not great, but it's fine. But I love that. Her mission, or their mission, is 7 dilithium deliveries. And 5 non-member worlds is a great sign. Like, they're not prioritizing member worlds. It's everybody. Yeah. That's great.
And as they go out of the shield, the door's closed on the shuttle bay.
No, Stuart.
It's true.
You're saying all it took was an enemy force to invade the ship and damage it, and then warp core to be destroyed for them to find the door control?
Yes. Wow. Maybe it was part of the reset. The door just automatically went down.
That's good. That's good. I like it. See,
and they're like, oh yeah, there's a door. There's a door there. I forgot all about that shit. That's a safety feature. That's awesome.
Stuart,
great safety tip, Egon.
They had to turn it on and off again. That's all they had to do.
Yeah,
turns
exactly.
That's all it was.
Then we see it from behind. The nacelles attach and it warps out.
Very JJ though.
Welcome to the return of warp, guys.
Yeah, maybe. And it's a bit weird. It does do JJ warp. It stretches. Given that we saw it previously in the episode, just jump out. So it doesn't. It's very just like a visual. Look, remember Into Darkness and Nemesis a little bit, but whatever. And then it warps out, and then we get a random Gene Roddenberry quote, and then the TOS theme, which is very, very random and doesn't connect to anything.
They did it. They did that once before in season 2 with Pike with the
which
Talus.
Made sense.
Yes, it did. This was we want you to feel like this was Star Trek, and the last couple minutes of it did. Yes. And it's like, hey, there's hope for the future, guys. Next season might not suck, or might feel like Star Trek.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely a way of saying, and as you'd said, if this was the series finale, that would have been a nice way of ending, symbolically ending on the Star Trek theme.
Yep.
Because it was a nice rendition for sure. But yeah, a really nice ending. The uniforms is what Trek has been calling for the entire season. Next season we need to see, new interiors, etc. But guys, and Stuart, 402 people watching. It's been a hell of a ride, Stuart. Obviously, longest episode of Discovery. Makes sense to be a long review. I'm still doing okay. I hope you're doing okay as we're coming to the absolute end. Now is the time to blast us with your review scores in Super Chats and non-Super Chats. Are we at the non-Super Chats? Are we at the Super Chat? I want to see another $100 show appreciation for 23 weeks of review shows. And 10 weeks? How many was Picard? 10? 10 at the start of the year? Don't know. Many. been a long time. But obviously, thank you guys.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And plus, Mandalorian stuck in there too.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a journey, guys, with us through the last many weeks.
Before I get to my final thoughts, though, I'm going to read the last few super chats before we get into the scoring ones. Flavius Flanta puts in 25, whatever, until we get a Trek show. Are we going to do the Expanse episode ship reviews? No, we're not.
Sorry.
At some point we will. But
sorry, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. James McGill, $2. Season 1, we don't talk about it. Season 2 fixes season 1. Season 3, pure Star Trek. There you go. That's a great summation.
I mean, I would call season 3 more like an average TNG, which is still pretty good. You know, I wouldn't call it pure Star Trek, but you know, getting close.
Zarkum, or Kazar831, puts in $5. Hope we get an official chart of the new uniform rank pip lines. That said, was Tilly promoted to lieutenant at the end of there? 2 lines on the collar.
I think we did get an official promo. I mean, we got concept art of all the uniforms. It was in one of the ready rooms, so we do have a full breakdown.
I don't think she was promoted, no.
No, I don't think she was. Yeah, we have. We should obviously go back and look at those. And to be fair, the ready room this week should probably be quite busy and full, so I look forward to. Actually, you might just go back and watch all the ready rooms. To be honest.
Yeah, I haven't watched them all, so
yeah,
I haven't watched any of them. Threefold Path, 5 pounds. The way he said that his wife and daughter left because it's not safe, and he will see them one day, makes me think that they are dead. Ooh, that's interesting. I kind of, when he said my wife and daughter left, I assumed that they left him, like divorced. But then he added I'll see them one day. That's interesting. I never considered that, but you're right. It could be taken that way.
I had considered that, but I'm betting it's more a case of I haven't been to see them for 20 years. Like that sort of remorse. Like when I'm allowed to retire, and I don't know if I ever can, I'll get to see them. I think it's that sort of vibe. I think it'd be too dark because he's so positive in that scene that I think talking about his dead wife and child or divorced would be too sad. But I understand the perspective. It could go. They don't know yet. They haven't got there yet.
Last super chat until SWTX Chaser, $2. The Planet Express ship Discovery. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
It is.
And
which is kind of fun.
Caleb Horn was the first score one, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to give my final thoughts, and then I'll read the rest. So put in super chat your scores, and I'll read those. Put your regular scores in the chat, and
I really want to know your guys' scores. I really want to know.
So I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was fun. Felt like Star Trek, especially the end. We got a lot of stuff we wanted. Door closed, thank God. Uniforms, thank God. What was some other things? Oh, Sahil, thank God. Thank the gods for Sahil coming back. Lots of great stuff there. The only thing that I really didn't like about this episode, I mean, even all the planet stuff with Sukal was great. I loved that little twist that it was something minor. It wasn't a big baddie that destroyed dilithium. It was just a random occurrence, a mistake. That was fantastic. But the biggest part for me that I hated in this episode was the Turbolift scenes. Like the fight scene was way too long, way too padded,
boring,
way too visually stupid. And even the fight with Osira could have been half that length and just been as good, if not better. But cut out the whole Turbolift thing because that just made no goddamn sense. And like I said, they quadrupled down on the stupid for that. But the rest of the episode makes up for it. It's a weird divergence. It's going to lose a point or two maybe for the Turbolift scene, but
you know, it's kind of like, and let me just briefly say, it's kind of like in Star Trek Beyond. That's opening with Kirk up until the point they get to Earth is so good, or Yorktown Station, like where you see the mundane of the life of that scene is so perfect that weaker parts of the movie kind of it bounces out really strongly. It's so good. Sorry, just yeah.
So score wise for me,
where do we even go with that? And just to remind you guys, I have the scores in front of me. Stuart has not seen a single score he's already given. I vaguely mention them occasionally, but he has no idea. So his scores are completely first reaction, mine a little more base, and then we'll go back and see how we re-rate them and see if we stay consistent. Because, boy, it's a story, an evolving thing.
I love the pace. This one, like I said, the only part where it really lost me was the fight scenes because it was just repetitive bullshit with the same, looked like the same regulators being killed. Like it was unnecessary. So my gut reaction all along since I first watched it was an 8 out of 10, and I'm going to stick with that. If I could score the last couple minutes separately, it would get a 10 out of 10 because they really had that Star Trek feel for the last few minutes. And Sahil came back. So I mean,
and it's also correct level of positive storytelling for the future. Like, it's not fan service, not the Enterprise showing up. It's like, good, you made really nice choices for future seasons. Yeah. But the thing is, I'm sure the Turbolifts get like a 0 out of 10. So obviously those balance right down. Luckily, there's the end scene to help balance that. So you're coming to a solid 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I'm obviously going to mirror everything you said, because we don't always. This is kind of nice we're on the same place with this one, because they have actually varied quite a bit throughout the season.
Yeah.
It's not the best of the season. But, and I rewatched it, like I said, it did not feel like an hour. It went very quick, much quicker on the second time. The bad is bad, the good is really good, and the medium is surprisingly good. The fact they didn't let us down on any of the Sakarian, what's his name? Word forgotten. Sukal was surprising and impressive, and that gets them a lot of cred, because that's stuff we were not looking forward to the most. The ship battle was plain, didn't get any hero shots of the ships. The Navarre ships were just... There you go. But at least we didn't get Michael's mum coming in and saving her, saying, "Daughter, I'm here to save you all," and then not doing anything. So there were good and bads there. The dots meant nothing, but again, it's better than just saving the day. So it's kind of like a weird... Oh, and then second watch you as the warp drive thing is just to give the side crew something to do. It has no purpose except filler for them. Yeah. And that's sad, because it's really cool the first time. Really let down the second time. Which is weird, because you think, doing something. No,
it's almost like they needed another episode.
Yeah.
To not rush it, because it would have been cool if the ships came out of warp, started like covering Discovery against the Viridian, kind of, and then the Viridian like takes them out, and like there could have been more in it that would have made more sense, you know. So I think it could have used another half an hour, if not another episode altogether.
Or like have, for some reason, beam the bridge core into the Viridian, have them escape that ship instead. Because Osira can track them and gets them all, gets them to that ship. That could have been fun. Score-wise, I feel like 8 is too low. Is my gut there, because the bad I'm just going to ignore, because it's one type of bad. It's not like they fucked up lots. They just failed in one thing. And that for me isn't enough to bring it down that much. But it's not the best of the season. I'm going to have to say 8.3, and we'll see where that falls on my final score. I don't think it's 8.5 quite, because you got to at least knock off 1 for the Turbolift stuff. But it was, Stuart, let's just say this, they did not drop the ball, and that is so impressive.
But they did drop the warp core, which is more important than the ball.
It is true.
But they kept their eyes on the prize.
That's pretty good, and they spored right in. And it is nice. This is the first of the Alex Kurtzman Star Treks to not fail in the last episode, because Lower Decks is not Kurtzman Trek. It's what's his name? His
Mike McMahon.
McMahon Trek, and he succeeded beautifully. This one did not fail, and considering, guys, this is Star Trek Discovery. And we've seen Star Trek Discovery. This is if this had been season 1, this might have been like a 9.5 out of 10. So well done them. Seriously, guys. Stuart, can we get a little round of applause? Well done.
They improved. They listened to the fans. Keep it up.
And thank you for hiring Michelle Paradise. She did a great job. Well done, her.
Yes. All right. Trying to get to some of the super chat. So here we go. Caleb Horn, $2. Gotta go. Here's my rating, 8 out of 10. He said that probably like half an hour ago, so hope he's still here. Probably not. Tiburon, $5. Nacelles attach when spore jumping and when warping. Why do they detach again?
Because it's more maneuverable. We've said that already.
It makes maneuverable. Yeah,
and besides, they don't always detach when sporing, except when they do, except when they don't. It's inconsistent. Don't think about it too hard.
Pretty much. Crosses puts in £5.
Thank you.
Sweeping shot, uplifting music. Wait, they closed the door. 10 out of 10. That's a great review. I love it. John Livewell, $5.
Thank you.
Overall, I thought the finale was a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Tenchi 2K7, $5. I give this episode a 9 out of 10. Closed shuttle bay door for Discovery. Yes. Brian Lynch, $5. Oh, sorry, you want to say something?
But just the Zahil moment again was because you can have something and it still not feel good. The way they did that was beautiful. For as simple as it was. So just little bits of credit to them for little moments. That's why I can assign a higher score as well.
Yes, sir. Brian Lynch, $5.
Thank you.
Lorca, we are creating a new way to fly. Ooh, that's right. He did say that, didn't he? So let's fly. That's a great tie-in. I like that. Eugene, 400 rubles, 3 out of 10. Wow. They finally started to develop characters, but there are still a lot of problems with pace and scale. I disagree with both of those things. And they still insist on showing blurred, bland ships for a second. That's very true.
And low detail, like lower than Enterprise did.
We need better ships, yeah. And double down on stupidities like TARDIS space. He goes on to add another 400 rubles and says, as for season 4, there are too many things left for it in this season, so I'm a bit afraid they're going to pull Last Jedi, especially considering the fact that end of the episode shot as if it is a series finale. I think they needed to do this. This is their nail in the coffin for this is
Brian
sorry
Fuller.
for the shit. Sorry for the shit for the last 3 years.
Yep.
We're closing this chapter. Next chapter we're going to start out, and that's why I said in my first reaction view, we know what we're doing now, guys. Let's start making Star Trek.
Yeah.
And let's make it feel more Star Trek moving forward.
Yep. We found a formula with our crew, our cast, our filming, our directors, our stories, our yeah. And I think I disagree about the left things. I would rather, unlike Star Trek Picard, which tied up everything, there's nothing left to tell apart from the space aliens that are going to kill the galaxy. That's it. That's the only thing really to pull away from. And I guess, you know what I mean? You don't really care about the Picard stuff. There are so many good threads to pull, which means you know that season 4 is going to be rich with story rather than bland with possibilities. Like, there's things, and I call all them good setups, really. I mean, they might have bad payoffs, but no, and as long as it's the same team coming in, I don't see them doing Last Jedi ignoring it, because they're all, like, they want to use their time, which means they'll tell the stories, because they have time to tell. Okay.
There's still a lot of Discovery haters and Burnham haters that absolutely hate it, and whatever. You guys do your thing. But they've definitely stepped up, and if you can't see that and acknowledge that, I'm sorry for you. I really am.
Well, those channels have not put out as many videos this year. For season 2, they put out loads of little things. I have barely seen any. I haven't necessarily looked, but if you look at how much they could milk season 1 and 2 because of easy, low-hanging fruit, season 3...
Well, even we could. We complained so much during season 1.
Yeah.
So,
but the fact that they haven't been able to shows that they just haven't got as much fertile soil. Because you can't complain about being okay. Okay is at least okay. For a hater, I mean.
Fleet Pass Swiftback, $5,
Thank
7 out of 10. Lots of bad, but one of the better episodes. What? Lots of bad.
Well,
Sahil had justice. Turbolift City sucked. Grudge was the queen. Is a queen. Damn it! I fucking hate that line. By the way,
it's just not organic. It's like we're gonna give him a catchphrase. It's like, okay.
Great new Unis, whatever that is.
Uniforms.
And uniforms. Yeah. Fight scenes, meh. Fight scenes were the worst part of it, and Turbolift because they were connected.
It honestly feels like the different writer wrote that. Seriously, it's like a chunk of 10 minutes just someone else wrote.
It's like part of a season 1 script. Let's slip this page of script in here. Right, cool. They won't notice.
Because it literally is start and stop a bad segment. It's really strange. Everything else is just refined and it's weird.
Yeah. Dave Stelzer, $2. Sorry I'm late. Here's $2 for Sahil. 8 out of 10.
Sorry, you're late? How? You're 3 hours and 52 minutes late, sir. Come on, I think. You're very late. But
3 hours and 47 minutes and 33 seconds.
You know what? We appreciate you all the more. And what a live stream this has been. And actually, quickly in the live, spam, how many of you have been here the entire time? Or like half the time, 3/4 of the time, the whole time? Let us know in the chat.
For this live?
For this live, just for this over 3 hours. How many of you watched the entire thing? I'd love to know, because that is quite a rewarding thing to join us in this. Or we've been here the entire time, but let us know.
Eric Splingler, whatever, $7.
Thank you.
Very clever planning. 3 seasons with an open door waiting for book. Action completed, so the door can be closed now. 7.5 out of 10. That's great. Sarkam Kazar 831, $5. I feel that season 3 wasn't as strong as season 2 overall, but season 3 had good moments and played with new things, now being in the future. But Pike had some good moments in season 2 for sure. But
season 3 had no gaping plot holes.
And stupid control.
Like, there's no plot holes as far as I can see in season 3. Like, that was one of our big things with these don't make sense. The thing's pretty consistent. It's really good considering.
Timothy Moore, $5. The cherry on top for me would have been Burnham saying space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of, and give it a solid 8. No, absolutely not. Do not give her those lines. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Vance saying it, fine.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit, it felt abrupt, her saying, I don't believe in a no-win scenario. Like, that was not organic. Like, him saying it was okay, but her, because that means she said it before Kirk, you know? She hates no-win scenarios before Kirk was even a captain. It's like, oh, great.
She should, when Cyrus said something about no-win scenario, Burnham should have said, well, she said, all she said is, I don't believe in those.
Yeah.
She didn't say, I don't believe in a no-win scenario.
No, but it's close enough. It's a Kirk reference, but it didn't feel organic. It felt like a random...
But she should have said, you've obviously never heard of the Kobayashi Maru, or something like that, where fans would have been like, yeah.
Just say nothing. Just her, the aliens saying it, and just like, you know, I don't know.
Dave Stelzer, $2.
Dang.
$2 more for being really late. Okay. Snoopy McQueen, $5. Number 5 on Netflix, a hit.
Cool. Good for them. Good for them. And a lot of people saying the whole time.
I thought it was a failure.
Oh.
That's what I've heard reported from channels.
Well, it might be a views failure, but it's a creative success. Well, part of that is the contrast of the previous season, but that's okay. And whole time, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Watching the whole time. I said my score, didn't I? So I'll go back and read the non-super chat scores. I'll burn through them, and then we will close out. I think we're at final super chat.
Final super chat slot, $1 is all it takes. Snipe it if you want. Go for it.
I can only go up so far, so I'll read from where I can go up to. 8 out of 10, 8.25, maybe 8.5, 9, 10, 7, 9, 5, 8, 9.5, 5.5, 6.5, 8 out of 10, 8.5, 6.5, Justice for Sahil! 6 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7.5, 8, 9.5, 4.9, 5 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 6, 9, 4, 8, 7, 3, 7, 3, 5, 3, 3, 3, 8, 9, 3.5, but 9.5 really, 5, 9, 8, 10, minus 200, 4, 10, 4, 10, 10. I don't know how many these are repeats because I'm not checking the name, I'm just reading the name numbers. But yeah, pretty consistent, guys, pretty consistent. Good stuff.
Daniel Hall just stopped in to say hi. Hope all is well with the missus. Let me know. I say hello. I'll let her know. Don't worry. Dan. Thank you.
8, 4, 7.5, 9, 6, 9, minus 8, 4. Well, guys, thank you, like I said earlier, for joining us for this epic adventure. All 23 weeks. And I'm sure a lot of you join us every single Friday for the adventure. I know I am exhausted. But it's also been thrilling, which is an odd parallel. And I'm gotta say, I'm blown away. The quality of Lower Decks is more than we thought, but we hoped. And blown away the quality of Discovery more than we ever could have dreamed possible. So definitely not a 23 weeks of shame. And thank you all for joining us in. We hope you continue to join us for the next year, 2 year, 10 years. Oh Jesus Christ, my whole life. When our kids do Trekyards, please join in for that. Trekyards Next Generation.
My kids are already out and they hate Star Trek, so.
Well, adopt. There you go. Adopt Adira, and we can have her continue, or they continue. But thanks guys for joining us. Seriously, do you have a sort of message, Stuart, for the fans who've been joining us?
Oh, just pay attention because we're going to be doing some lives. We're going to be some fun hangouts soon, and we're going to be doing good back into reviews, and we're going to be mixing up the reviews, not just TNG. We're going to move into all the series, and so you'll be able to pick and choose what you want to watch. So you'll have more variety here on Trekyards, but we will still be doing things, and don't worry, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. So. And
of course, as you know, glug 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 glug, the Drunk Lives are coming very very soon. As do the Discovery retrospective, maybe the Mandalorian retrospective, and also a Happy New Year retrospective. So that'll be fun because obviously once we re-talk about these scenes, once we talk about Zaheel again the next time, we will be hammered and drunk, and we'll be like, "Oh my God, Zaheel!" And that'll be really fun. And a good note to end on in our Drunk Live. So do join for that and
So-
help us get blasted drunk.
And Hezraz, thanks for the reminder, because I was trying to remember what the hashtag was supposed to be. It's OA for XO. And I'm going to put it in the chat. I want you guys to go on to Twitter and do hashtag OA for XO like that, or spell 4. I don't care, but I think 4 like that's better. And tag the actress, tag the Discovery people, because she should be XO. I think they'll make a beautiful choice. So, all right, we got a few super chats in. So Eugene, 250 rubles. Pace, compare how drag scenes with Tilly and the crew are, and how fast it goes from blowing the nacelle of the ship to being captured again. Or Aurelio book Deus Max Machina. Deus Ex Machina. It was just bad edits. Like I said, it deserved another episode, really, to fill in this storyline, I think. But
yeah, I definitely hope we see a lot more book, and Aurelio's is good. I think they had to do a really, really good job. And honestly, I bloody hell, I wish Sarah was back. She shouldn't have been murdered by Burnham in cold blood. Should have had it on stun, or like blown her feet off or something. And she easily should have come back, because once you kill the leader of the other big government out there, like maybe don't do that. And she definitely had more potential to come back.
Tiburon, guys, you're wasting your time. They didn't demote Tilly. Or they did not demote Tilly. We didn't say they did.
Well, they didn't.
She's not the XO. She doesn't want it anymore.
And she's obviously not captain because Burnham is, so she's not.
And Saru made her his XO. Burnham can choose whoever she wants. We don't know who that is yet. And there was a time jump there, so she's not the XO. Sorry.
Why would she be?
Exactly.
Like she might be yeoman, but that's not really something that should be good.
Kurt Mueller, $5. So much wasted potential. This season could have been an epic reset of the Star Trek universe. So many great Star Trek stories wasted. What? Well, watch season 4 then. I mean, I'm really sick of the negative attitude. Like, I really am. They've stepped up and it's shown. Like, I don't understand, but whatever.
I would agree. It wasn't an epic reset, but it was a darn good reset. Maybe not epic, but yeah. Although Koodlefish says some of those guns don't have stun. To be fair, I said it last episode. But then why did she fire a blue blast at one point at one of the people? Everything else was red, so she felt as if she was trying to stun one. I don't remember her saying last week they don't have a stun setting. I don't remember that. We only watched that on Monday, so I feel like we would remember that. But okay.
Michael Kurt, £6. First super chat didn't work. It was at an 8. And Pillowy Giant 69, £5. Been here from 9 p.m. from Wales, UK. So you've been here the whole time. Thank you so much.
You sir.
And you got the last super chat slot.
You sir are awesome. Well done, well done, well done. Yeah, I'm very proud of what we do here, Stuart. Yeah, I know it's good for a lot of people, and hopefully you guys have all really enjoyed.
Tiburon, she's XO until she's not. I didn't hear anything about her not wanting it, and the cast is not getting her behind a hashtag promoting something against Mary Wiseman.
I think they just want to bicker.
I think her saying, "Do your thing, Michael." No, are you sure, Tilly? You're the acting captain. If it's an order, if make you feel better, it's an order. And her stepping away was pretty much her saying, I had it for a minute. I lost it. I need to regain my confidence.
They also didn't say that Adira was now officially in Starfleet, but she's now got uniform and a rank. So stuff can happen off screen. Just saying. And remember, Tilly was specifically given a command uniform when in command. She's currently got a blue uniform.
True.
Which was a symbolic change. So again, not XO anymore. Not that she can't be in blue and XO, but they made that distinct change last time.
If she was red to begin with, that was command. Now she's blue. That's they've changed that direction. So there you go. Perfect. Yeah. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much. It has been 4 hours of awesomeness, and we really appreciate it. So stay tuned, and we'll let you know when we're doing other live cool stuff. So.
And I'm sure we'll do more this week, as we have obviously one more week of Discovery content, because there's lots to talk about, both in interview reviews and lives, as we discuss some of these small things. And join us the Drunk Ones very, very soon, probably next weekend. That will be fun. We love you guys. We hope to continue seeing you in 2021 this year. There we go.
Yeah. So until then, bye.
He's Captain Foley.
I am. And he's Commander Goggins.
I am.
I hate that you do that every fucking time.
Most times.